like 2000, and he looked down and just took off running with the puppy.
We are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 38. It is another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. We've got two very special guests, Paris Games Week, the eve of the XB1X, and of course, that Curse of Osiris DLC to discuss, so we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord whose opinions in multi-platform gaming I have tremendous respect for in these Twitter streets. This Lord is a member of two very respected podcasts, in which his critical and balanced thinking always shine, is super talented, and is also my fellow brother in iron. Introducing the senior writer / graphic designer of the Real Games Media podcast and panelist of the Basement Radio Arcade podcast, finally making his long-awaited ILP debut. My man, Lord Eric Jackson. How are you doing, sir?
What's going on, everybody? Yo, I got goosebumps off that intro, bro. Like, real talk.
Been waiting you for a minute. What's going on?
Oh, man. Happy to be here. You know, I was glad when they said unto me, let me come into the house of the Lords. Let's go.
Right.
Yes.
Right, you love it, what you do. We like what you're doing out there, man. And
Appreciate it.
big fan of, good follow on Twitter, y'all. So make sure y'all follow this brother on Twitter. He's really good. A lot of good opinions.
Yeah.
Real cool guy, man. So glad to have you.
Appreciate that.
And of course, we have a Lord who is no stranger to the ILP and is considered extended family at the round table. This Lord always fights the good fight in these gaming streets through the use of his amazing platform, where different opinions are encouraged and real gaming discussions are promoted in a very positive and constructive light. Introducing the creator and host of the Basement Radio Arcade podcast, the media bias and fanboy destroyer, and our fellow Lord from the golden era of the culture, those amazing arcades, my man, Lord BRAP. How are we doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic. And I gotta say, I love that intro. Fanboy Destroyer or Slayer, was it?
It was so good he can't remember it.
I felt like I was walking down the aisle. Like,
Right.
I was strutting.
There you
That's
go.
right, man.
That's the
In fact,
WWE intro. Introduce us.
I see you a Lord out here on these Twitter streets. I had to acknowledge it.
oh, man.
No doubt. How you doing, sir? Everything good?
I'm doing well. I'm just excited to be back on the Iron Lords podcast. You guys, much love. I really enjoy what you guys do. You guys are one of my favorite podcasts. I also want to give a big shout out to Attic because he's helped me a lot on Destiny, even though I haven't been on recently on Destiny. And big shout out to Channel 5, those fan rewards. So thank you guys.
I haven't touched Destiny in like 2 weeks.
No doubt. Good to have BRAP back in the building. The good fellas are here. Eric Jackson. We just missing B Money.
Yeah.
All the good fellas.
Shout out to B.
Shout out to B Money.
He's in the live chat, I think.
He's in live chat. B Money's in live chat, man.
Oh, all right. That's what's up, man. I know we got to get B Money back on again, man. That's the whole. And of course, we have the usual suspects at the round table. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, and the howl of the young wolf, my man, Lord Addict. How are we doing, sir?
The Lord of Sleep.
I told you need to stop with that Lord of Sleep fiasco, man. I appreciate everyone that came out. Sorry I missed last week.
Oh, man was sick. Throwing up on his deathbed, man.
He had to rest up. He had to save his energy.
We're happy to have you back. Are you feeling better though? Because I know you weren't doing good. Dreamcast guy missed you, man. He really did.
Yeah. Oh, okay. As of right now.
There it is. I'm okay.
And of course, our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience. Consistent online Switch profile this week. My man, Lord Sovereign. How we doing, sir?
Doing fantastic, man. Great, man. Counting down. I don't know if everybody does what I do, but when I'm about to get a new console in the house, I clean the house from top to bottom.
New baby.
It's like a new child, right?
It's like a new baby coming to the house. And got disinfected.
Can't get
I'm doing that right
sick.
now. King dropped that stimulus package off.
Oh yeah. He rolled through and got that pro. Oh.
No doubt. And of course, the excess gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports, who is a man of his convictions and demands nothing less than the premium experience.
Ooh.
Beloved Lord King, how are we doing, sir?
Man, we're doing fantastic. And speaking about combat sports, I got a tag team partner with me today because yesterday New York City was on fire. You had Barclays Center rocking with boxing. You had Madison Square Garden killing it with the UFC in a much anticipated match that I wanted to see. I'm gonna do boxing real quick, and I'm gonna let my co-host with the co-most jump in on this. Yo,
UFC was crazy. Yeah, UFC was crazy.
Let me tell you something. In the boxing, the televised cards that you got a chance to see was 3 cards, right? And in the first card, you had the Russian cat versus the Japanese cat, right? And Nuyuit and King Dun. And I'm sorry, I'm new to these characters. I've never seen them before. They gave me the most enthusiastic, spirited fight, like for a non-pay-per-view fight I've ever seen. It was beautiful to see. It was magic on the floor. And then the next fight, you had Sean Porter versus Adrian Granados. That fight was epic.
Question: Who's the dude on your Twitter line that got stretched through the rope?
All right, that's where we get to next.
Okay, we get into because I need to know his name. Who's the dude that did that?
All right. This is where we going next. Now, the last bout of the evening, this bout was anticipated because you had Deontay Wilder, the heavyweight WBC heavyweight champion, versus Berman Stavern. Now, Berman Stavern took Deontay Wilder 2 years ago the distance. Now, ever since then, Deontay Wilder has been knocking people out. He's the only person that made it the distance. All right, and that's how he got his belt. So this fight was anticipated.
Gotcha.
Now, remember last week when I said Anthony Joshua fought a bum, a tomato can? He's the other champion across the pond, right? So they're trying to tell Deontay Wilder he needs to fight more people to step up. Deontay Wilder is so upset. He is so angry as a champion because he is not getting the respect that is due. Our American champion did the most disrespectful knockout of a man that you can ever see.
Yes.
And
retweet that.
In one round, he obliterated Berman Stavern. I'm talking about, that's the best knockout I've seen of a man. He spoiled him out with his legs cocked back and his arms giving it up and his chest. He just submitted to the man as he was slumped beneath the ropes. It was the most disrespectful knockout that you can see.
D-Money in the chat said Wilder's a straight savage.
Yeah.
I gotta watch this guy. I'm a fan. Whoever can do that to another man through the rope,
Yes,
I gotta follow now.
Stavern looked like a crime scene chalk outline.
Yes, I don't like to use the word murder, but yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I gotta go back and I didn't get a chance to watch it last night.
Wow.
So I gotta go back and check it out.
I gotta see it.
Please, Lord Cognito, please elaborate on the UFC.
UFC was fantastic last night, y'all. We had so many title fights. The titles changed hands. A lot of dominant champions came back. I got a shout out to TJ Dillashaw. He put my man Cody to sleep. You know, I mean, I was surprised by that. I'm a big Cody fan. No love, man. He got caught out there, man. Cody got caught, and I got to give it up to TJ Dillashaw. That was one. Second one was Joanna, the female. I forgot what way she is, soft, but yeah, she got slept too by this other chick, Rose. That was great. Yeah, she was a huge underdog.
Yeah.
Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, she made her tap from strikes. I never seen that in a long time. So that was funny, and of course, the legend GSP coming back, who I doubted tremendously.
Wait, time out. You got to tell them what I said in the beginning of the day when you was in the house.
King called it. We was talking about the fight, and I said, listen, under normal circumstances, GSP would destroy Michael Bisping. It don't matter in what era. He's just that talented. He was the GOAT, one of the GOATs before he left. But 4 years off, the game has changed you by. This guy, he's fighting a bigger guy. He came out there, he looked good. He had Freddie Roach from boxing in his corner. The boxing was tight. And then once he got him down, he put that joke on him. It was over. That boy was asleep.
He put him out. Yeah.
Bare naked choke.
You gotta stop calling it the bare naked choke. It's the
no. You know why I gotta say it's the bare naked choke? Because these guys is semi naked, and he's behind him, and his bed is naked, and he's upon his throat.
I have to admit though, he looked a little round. I mean,
he had a little extra cheeseburgers, while he was away.
And I noticed that he was a little winded. So I said, I don't know if you get to round 3. I don't know.
Yeah, because he got all that muscle. People, like you said, Saul, like when you put on all that muscle, we gotta see how you do in rounds 2, round 3, late rounds to see all that oxygen.
My man was not trying to hear that though.
Yeah. So shout out to GSP. Amazing night in combat sports. It was definitely real fun. If you missed that card, check that card out. It was a vintage UFC card.
So what you saying? GSP looked across the ring and saw Captain America.
Let's
do
it. He went all in. Okay, I want to address a couple of things. I'm going to address these things. All right. And I'm glad to say I'm addressing the things because BRAP is in the chat, and BRAP can understand. We grew up in an era when we went down to the arcade and we challenged the best. We put our quarter up there. We looked him in the eye while he was knocking people out. Street Fighter. We was like, yeah, let's do it. And win, lose, or draw, we held our head up. We was like, yo, good one. Catch you later. We go back, hone our skills, and another arcade, come back to the champ, see the champ on another time. What I've noticed with this new crowd, these weirdos, y'all are weirdos. Y'all are scared to take a loss. You're scared to get out of your box, and you're living vicariously through others. Be the hero of your own story. Don't tell somebody else's story. Tell your story. Don't let another man bring you down by you feeling that you were riding his coattails. Ride your coattails.
Facts.
And I say that to say this. The fakes and the phonies out there, I know you, I see you, and I curb you, I put you to the side. If I tell you I miss you with that, I miss you with that. Because that's exactly how it is. A man challenged me, and I took that challenge. He set the parameters, and I didn't care, because I'm a lord and king. So I stepped up to the plate, and I lost. And if your heart left with that, then your heart need to go with that. Because my heart is still in my chest.
Certain people.
Now,
it sounds personal.
Now, I had another bet with an individual, and it was basically a brotherly bet between my brother. And, another man jumped in, and I respect his hustle. I respect his gangster. And I love the fact that he jumped in and he put his face out there, and he was just like, yo, I'm down with that smoke too. And I said, yeah, I accept your challenge. All the way to the end, I'm holding out. But it didn't go that way because I thought it was going to be a different situation. But I say this to say that us at Channel 5 and the Iron Lords, we accept every challenge without fail because we are born like that. Still sharp
from that claw, baby. Cut from that claw.
You understand? So you guys living vicariously through others, please be the hero of your own story. Step out of your own box. Don't be afraid to take an L. And stop riding other people's coattails and be quick to...
Everyone's saying don't be afraid to take an L. He's definitely the one not afraid to take an L.
Don't be snickering on the side.
Anchorman in the chat said kicking his feelings over me giving him...
Actually, I don't know why somebody's taking it personal because there's other people that I'm talking about. But if you feel away, brother, eat that up. Eat that sandwich.
Words from the king.
I want you to still be a fan of me. Because listen, I'm gonna take
challenge the king to beat Fallout 4 this year with all the DLC too. I'm done.
Can I get a king? Can I get a king of L in the comment section?
This is exactly the individuals that I'm talking about. So I want you guys to understand out there, you know, really, because a lot of people listen to our podcast, and I don't want y'all to be afraid to go and challenge yourself. Be an individual, be different. Don't follow the herd, walk away from the sheep.
Facts.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Wise words from the king. And we're going to get this thing started. Of course, it's Lord Cognito here, spreading that gaming realness on the ILP. Not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So, you know, it's great. We're back at the round table. You know, all the good stuff's going down. So, you know, we want to get into what the Lords are playing. But before we do that, and since Lord BRAP has already been through this chamber with the Lords in ILP 26, so do your history, new ILP fans. I want to start with Lord Eric's video game system history, and of course, what led him to the podcast game with both RGM and BRAP. So, Lord Eric, what was the first systems you started with, brother?
Oh man, my very first system was the Atari 2600. So I'm gonna date myself a little bit, and you know, definitely as a kid, many hours into that. And then that led into, never had a master system, but my cousin did. So I used to rock on that a lot. So Sega was in the roots, but my first was the NES with the Rob and Gyromite.
Oh, you had the Rob one? So you had the Duck Hunt one. You had the Rob one. Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
matter of fact, I was looking for my Rob a couple of years ago and came to find out my mother gave it away, like, because I wanted to put them on my desk at work. I was like, I was hurting over that. So I hit eBay trying to find it. And I was like, oh, these people have some crazy prices. So that's not going to happen. So I got the little amiibo. I said, that'll hold me over. One day. So, and then from there, you know, definitely had the Genesis. And then
Genesis does.
Yeah. Then I took a little bit of a hiatus, you know, like as a kid, you know, got into sports, you know, was outside a lot more and involved in events. So I kind of took like a little bit of a lull, like from gaming for a bit. And then I came back hard with like Saturn and Dreamcast and everything like that. And then, yeah, that's around the time I started making my own money. So it was fire.
A lot of Sega going on. Now back up 1 second. After the NES, you didn't jump into the Super Nintendo? Was that kind of missing from your timeline? Okay, I was curious.
I had Super Nintendo, but I wasn't playing as much. Okay. Like I had it, you know, so my collection of SNES wasn't as big. And then actually what got kind of like took me away from gaming a little bit too is I had the NES, like I said, with everything, right? Like my game collection was thick, and then our house was broken into, so everything was like wiped out, and that is like you know completely decimated me for a while. But
that sucks. Yeah.
Then started building it back up again. You know what I'm saying? Sega CD.
And this boy had everything.
Yeah, you know,
sounds very premium over there, baby.
Premium, Lord Eric.
I love
when I started making my own dollars, it was a wrap. But I will shout out my mother. You know, single mother. You know, from the time I was a few weeks old.
We in the same boat, Lord Eric. We in the same boat. Yep.
There we go. Yeah. Let's go.
Providing, bro. Providing. And actually, one day, if I may, a couple years ago, I was reading an article, you know, by Colin Moriarty, and he went back and, you know, kind of highlighted gaming with inflation, like what systems would cost back then to what they cost now. And I stopped for a minute. I was like, I got to call my mom's real quick. I said, Mom, thank you.
Thank you.
I said, thank you. A single mother, single income, and you made it happen.
Facts.
That NES was no joke how much that joint cost, brand new back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So that, Genesis, and then from there, you know, I was rocking and buying my own stuff. But
no doubt.
But where I came back to a hardcore was definitely like the PS1 brought it back. Because I was, you know, pretty much done with college. I was working. And I just remember like being up, you know, to like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, having to go to work, playing with my cousin, falling asleep, you know, at my desk, playing all night. But yeah, but it came back hardcore, like from Dreamcast, PS1 on, and then it was just
give me some PS1 games that you was rocking. Give me some PS1 games.
Well, the one that brought me really back into it was Tomb Raider. That was like the very first one.
First,
you know what I'm saying? Just putting the hours into that. Battle Arena to Shinden.
Wow.
I was in on that. Tekken.
What? Arcade Perfect Tekken. System 11 board.
Oh, bruh. It was crazy.
What you had in the arcade was what you had in the house. Same thing.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm just trying to think back through all my PS1 joints.
Classic, man. Classic, bro.
Of course, I'm gonna draw a blank right now, right? I'm just thinking about all.
You already named some classics, so I mean,
Yeah, you was in it. Did you play Tobal #1? Because that's my favorite PlayStation 1 system game of all time. Tobal #1.
Never played Tobal.
Yeah,
Oh
Tobal
wow,
was
that game was fantastic.
Yeah,
60 frames per second. Oh my lord.
Yeah, that's our first taste of 60 frames.
Was that Sovereign? Quote me. Was that Square and Namco?
Yeah,
it was.
It was
not,
a
it wasn't Namco. It was joint. It was Square and well, it was like Akira Toriyama design.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly who it was in conjunction with. I don't think it was.
They partnered with somebody.
It was somebody else they partnered with, but it was an amazing, game. PS1 was low key one of my favorite Sony systems.
Hey, somebody in the chat, look up Tobal #1. Tell us who Square partnered with.
Yeah, we got to find that out, y'all. That was a classic, man. PS1 classic, definitely. So
and what's funny is like
Dream Factory and Square. So it was developed by Dream Factory. That was it. But I mean, again, it was just designs by Toriyama.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Lord Eric. Finish up.
Oh no, but I'm saying like it's funny how gaming tastes change. Because back then I didn't rock too much with like turn-based. So I kind of missed out on the whole Final Fantasy thing. But I'm coming back around to that now. But I rocked like Crash, but Metal Gear was my joint. I mean, Metal Gear was a game changer
class
for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? You kind of go back on that.
It's relevant after you said you missed out on Final Fantasy.
You told this Michael
Hey, that's that honesty. You're gonna always get that honesty with me, man. So, but the respect is there now. Like I said, that's the beautiful part of it. Being able to go back now, it's never too late. You know what I'm saying? So,
facts, man.
Loving
that history. Loving that history. Love that. It's good to hear. I was always curious about it. And like I said, it's very certified. I've seen a lot of classics being mentioned. So we respect that. And then real quick, as far as the what kind of led you into the podcast game? Because obviously you on two of my favorite podcasts, you know what I'm saying? RGN and of course the BRAP in the building himself. So we got you started with that.
No doubt. Yeah, my first foray into podcasting was with Miss Bella Rise. We were doing back then it was EXL. Before we merged and did the RGM thing, we were doing the EXL podcast and doing the developer podcast where we were talking to like industry people and stuff like that. So that was like my very first podcast.
Gotcha.
And then from there, my homeboy Enrique here, approached me about when he was starting up, the Basement Radio Arcade podcast. Just hit me up one day, which was, a huge honor, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, at that point, just kind of like running around Twitter, here and there, meeting, cool people and stuff. But asked me to kind of come on as a guest.
Nice.
And then like the rest is history with that. And then bouncing back and forth between, RGM and BRAP. Led me here to now I'm chilling with the Lords.
That's what's up. You got like a little Lord Addict going on. You co-hosted two hot joints. You know what I'm saying? Wearing different hats. I respect that. That means you hot out here.
Yes, sir.
And just my theory is, like as far as Twitter and podcasting goes, just try to keep it real, say what what I want to say, but not be disrespectful to people. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's like, I try not to I'll clown and I'll goof, and I hope that's what people take it as. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't hate on any system. I don't hate on what anybody wants to play, anybody wants to rock on, but I will goof on people who act stupid.
Absolutely.
So
get these goofies.
Yeah, and that's basically it.
I call that the brat syndrome.
I respect that about you, Lord Eric, because at the end of the day, one thing I do respect is that even though you may not be a fan of something, you don't ever hate on other people's happiness or enjoyment of whatever that is. And that's why I say, you know what? I respect that, brother, because it's hard. I notice in this culture that they, if I may not be a fan of whatever genre or whatever, system, but if I'm seeing a group of people having so much enjoyment, I'm like, you know what? Shout out to them. They're doing it. And I see you me and you mirror that. So I always wanted to shout you out for that, and BRAP too, of course.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
So and that's it. It's like if I say something and you get twisted about it, I'm coming after. I'm gonna goof on you. nothing I say should twist you up on what you love. There's nothing anybody can say that will take away the enjoyment of gaming from you.
Exactly. No man should stop your enjoyment. Facts.
Exactly. If you let somebody do that, you deserve to be goofed on.
I lost relationships over Saturdays. Yo, they didn't believe that a group of men could just be in the house playing games for 12 hours. And like they for some reason they thought women was walking around in scantily clad clothes serving us tea and crumpets or something. I don't understand it, but trust me when I tell you this, it was just us sweaty men's up in the house.
I'm done. And on that note, what the rest of the Lords are playing. Well, shout out with Lord BRAP. What you been rocking this week?
Well, you know, I've only been playing Wolfenstein, the new Colossus, and
wow, how did you get an advanced copy?
Lord King doesn't exist until November 7th. Continue.
And Mario Odyssey. So those are the two games I've been playing. Both are very, very good games. This is the best Wolfie that I've played, and for me to see. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it, but the way they've kind of developed BJ Blazkowicz's character in this game is just awesome. I mean, and I come from, you know, playing the original Wolfenstein on the PC back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Veteran strikes right there.
I would say BJ is probably one of the better written characters today. Now, and that's great. Considering his origins, that is crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
Anger Man in the chat said he said, I believe y'all mean the game of the year.
You know what? It could be game of the year. I'm telling you, the thing about his character,
Could be for me too.
he's such an iconic character when it comes to first person shooters, and like I was expecting him to kind of, or I should say not him, but the developers to kind of just feed that stereotype of this, you know, like Duke Nukem type character, this big guy's all brawn, he's just running and shooting people. But there's so much depth to him as a character in this game that it really breaks a lot of those stereotypes. And that to me is like the brilliance behind this game. And I'm telling you, Anchor said it's up there for me, game of the year right now.
Shout out, man. Shout out to you, Brad, because you, Anchor, shout out to Lord Dreamcast guy last week. You guys are selling me, man. And now Eric, you know, he's telling Lord Eric telling me, like, I can't wait. You know, so I'm on my premium mode with like Lord King. I just want it at its finest power. You know what I'm saying? Like 4K 60, all the bells and whistles, all the trimmings, the extra sauce.
You know, too much for my TV.
But from what you guys are, for what you guys are saying, Lord BRAP, I'm really excited. So that's good to hear. That's really good to hear.
No, it's you guys are gonna enjoy it. And I just want to say one quick thing about Mario Odyssey.
Sure.
Nintendo's got another game of the year contender.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Gotta see. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm cruising through Wolfenstein 2. Not I say cruising. I'm taking my time with Wolfenstein 2 because I'm just taking it all in. And as far as like the premium experience goes, I was like, should I hold off? Because I'm not really sure where I'm going to get an X, but I already know that I will play this game. I'll probably have this game on both systems.
Dope.
Because I'm playing it on PlayStation right now. But the one thing I will say, and I've seen Anchor out there kind of talking about this too, I don't know if I put them over Naughty Dog because the Naughty Dog just has like that pedigree right now. But Machine Games has been taking notes.
Yes.
And they came with major character development in this game. And I'm talking about 30 minutes in, and you're going to be like, I connect with this character now in a way that I didn't connect with him at all before. Before he was just like, you know, a protagonist. Now he has a soul, and now he's a character.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has that heart, and just this way this story tugs at your heartstrings and deals with like issues that we're dealing with right now in this country. This game is not maybe trying to be that voice, but it definitely has that. Definitely, you feel that tone. It's very timely.
Nice. That's what we want to hear. Nice. So both of y'all playing that Wolfie. All right. We're going to have to get into that. Lord Addict, what have you been playing this week? He's been playing
Sleeping.
Oh my god! I didn't have enough time to unmute my mic.
You know, any period of silence from you, the jokes is gonna go. What's up, Lord? Good you been playing?
Played anything this week, to be honest with you.
kind of low key.
Yep.
What are we preparing for next week?
To be honest with you, nothing.
Wow,
I've played with everything. I've played everything I want to play this year.
Oh, that's that Kid Smooth sharing library. Shout out to Lord Smooth.
That's what that is. That's what that is.
So you finished up Shadow of War?
Yep, that's all I really want to play. I tried Assassin's Creed. I just can't get into it.
Yeah, you were saying that for he didn't get it. You got to get his Switch back, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll wait on Mario. I can wait on Mario.
All right. Nothing we're anticipating for the November. Nothing. We good for the year.
I think I want to go back and play the expansion for XCOM, but besides that, that's about all.
All right, fair enough. You got to get that. What is it called? The I know it's called Curse of the Exiles or whatever it is. They got to stop $40 asking for $4 though. That's ridiculous. But anyway, no doubt. The big money's coming at you for hating on Assassin's Creed. Shout out to Sam Tober in the chat. Lord Solve, what are we playing?
A lot of Mario, man. I'm nearly 300 moons in, and I'm just getting. I'm in the snow level right now. So I mean, I've been staying as long as I can on the levels, getting all the moons. And I know there's some that you can't get till you finish the game. But I'm trying to get as many as I can and just having a blast with it. The game is fantastic. And yeah, just waiting, just excited to play Wolfenstein and Assassin's Creed on Tuesday. And get into some of the back compat stuff and see how that stuff looks.
Facts, no doubt. Lord King, what are we playing this week?
Hey, yo, I'm playing Destiny. I had to leave that clan that I was in because anytime the rhetoric is going to be Destiny is dead, I don't want to be a part of your clan. So it's not dead. I routinely run people through nightfalls, through raids. I help all those who need help. I need help. If you got ways to show me how to do things, I'm constantly learning in that game, and I can't not learn enough from that game. So it's not dead for me. I'm sorry. I made $100 purchase. I'm gonna rock that game till and I'm playing Mario. I got to give it to you guys. I'm really nervous about the NPDs for November because let me tell you something.
Ashy?
No, listen. The way my knees is touching the ground lately, brother. Oh my God. Yo, they sold.
How your knees been feeling? They good? They good lately too?
Yo, listen. They sold 1.7. Listen. Okay, I'm not telling you shipped. I'm not saying shipped. They sold 1.7 million in 3 days. That's the fastest selling Mario ever. And
that's all in October.
Yes, think about it. Thank you. Yo, Addict, that's the only thing I held on to. That's the only thing. But I'm thinking about what's the stuff they're not saying though. But the game is Galaxy like I expected, like I thought, but it's so much more.
It is.
It's like so much more. These guys are master craftsmen when it comes to their franchises. They're beautiful.
Very vibrant game. And you got to shout out to Lord King when it came through. He had it on that 85-inch whatever beastiness, and I'm just like, Mario, can't imagine Mario looking like this, and he looked even more amazing on his.
He came in the house. He said, "What the hell is this?"
I've never seen a TV that big. I'm like, every time I come to this Lord's house, it's something new. I just come here to get the premium scraps. That's what I come for. Whatever he's done with, I come for that. Shout out to Lord King. That's what's up. So yeah, for me it's been the same on getting prepping for the X, and obviously if y'all follow my Twitter timeline, shout out to This Is the Police Game. Been rocking that crazy,
you out of control, social,
all type of weird racial issues and morality choices. Oh man, I'm addicted. But yeah, I touched Mario lightly. Been going back and forth with that. But yeah, it's all about prepping, man. Prepping for the X, and again, shout out to Lord King for the Pro. I've been getting that set up. Got my PS4 Pro getting together, trying to download some classics that I had. And yeah, getting ready. So we're going to get into this poll that we had from last week. And the poll results are in. The people have spoken to the question of the October 27th Murderer's Row of Gaming, which is Mario, Wolfenstein, Assassin's Creed. Which combination duel will finish highest in October MPD? The winner at 76% in dominant fashion is the Mario Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Origin combo. Coming in second At 18% was the Mario and Wolfenstein combo. And coming in at non-competitive 6% is the Origins and Wolfenstein combo. So thanks to everyone who participated in last week's poll. What do the Lords think about this? Hey, feel free, anyone.
Pretty much what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We said it
on the other side.
We said it from the beginning that as great as Wolfenstein is, it felt like it would be sort of the odd man out in this trio, just because, you know, Assassin's Creed appeals to so many different people, and it's been gone for a year, and they've been touting all these changes. And of course, Mario, we haven't seen a new open world Mario in a lot of years, so obviously that was going to do well. So yeah, but to be honest, I did feel that Wolfenstein was going to rate higher than Assassin's Creed.
Gotcha.
And it is overall, not by a lot, but it definitely is. So it's just one of those things where I think this is what's going to propel Wolfenstein to even greater heights, just because all the word of mouth that people have been talking about this game. It feels kind of like The Godfather 2. Like this is part 2 of a trilogy, and it's fantastic. I don't even want to know how they're going to finish off this trilogy. But it made sense. It made sense that would fall to the wayside a little bit.
Dope. Lord BRAP, what do you feel about that result?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised by the results at all. I mean, I think, you know, with Assassin's Creed, like, I think there was probably more anticipation behind it. I think Sovereign said because, you know, they took about 2 years or a year off in the game. So I think there's definitely more hype and I think anticipation for this game, especially given, you know, everything that happened after Assassin's Creed Unity. Even though like Syndicate wasn't a bad game, like I haven't played a lot. Good. Yeah, like I think Syndicate's like Eric actually put me on Syndicate. He's like, oh man, it's actually really good, and he was like saying a lot of people slept on it, and it is good. I probably played a couple hours of the game. I haven't finished it, but it's definitely better than Unity. But you know, I'm not surprised by the results. I think, you know, Mario obviously. I think there's a lot of hype behind Nintendo right now, and Mario. And I just wanted to say something regarding the Nintendo Switch. I think I may have said it on the first time I was on this podcast when I said they're going to take holiday MPD.
That's right.
They might do that. We had Matt Piscatello on this past Wednesday, who's an industry analyst for MPD. And you remember, man, he said, what did he say is going to happen? His prediction for next year is the Switch is going to outsell Sony and Microsoft.
Wow. He's going, Matt is going through 2018. He's talking as well.
2018 is he's projecting the Switch to outsell both PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something. that's something.
It kind of makes Reggie. Remember what Reggie was saying? Reggie was like 16 mil by, you know, like, like people were like, you out of your mind, playing. You out of your mind. It's like, not really out of his mind right now.
Reggie was crazy, but he's not. I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it. By the way, guys, I really do like those polls that you guys drop every week, though.
Yeah,
much appreciated. Trying to get the pulse of the people, you know. And shout out to B Money to Jay. He's like, I tried to tell y'all, I'll sleep on Nintendo.
I'll give it over to B Money every time, and actually, I'll shout him out every time. He said it. He didn't waver. He put it out there.
Yeah, it seems like they got the right formula. So, yeah, that was the poll. So it seems like the people have spoken. We got a new poll cooking up at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. So let's get into these topics, y'all. We got some nice topics at the round table. Lord Sav, what's been going on in Paris? What's been happening? Sony was doing some things.
Sony was definitely doing some things. So last week they had their Paris Games Week presentation, and I just wanted to get the Lord's feeling on what they felt Sony talked about there. If they're excited, not excited. I mean, obviously, Lord Cognito's excited because he's back in the PlayStation fold off of this alone. So
it might have been a motivating factor. It might have been
a small motivating factor.
I gotta say that honestly, Lord Cognito has told me for a while, yo, I'm gonna have to come through and get one of those pros that you're not using. You know, he knows my disdain you know, for even picking up the machine that I have. They forced me to play. They forced me to play. All right. And he told me a minute ago, and he knew I was gonna make a move with these X's coming out, and he was like, let's go, come up off that. And he came through. He hardly comes through, but his car was in that driveway there.
Facts. No doubt.
So,
yeah.
I mean, so from my perspective, I honestly see this becoming Sony's big show in a lot of ways, because if you look at E3 the past few years, they're really reluctant to really go in and announce brand new stuff, AAA stuff at E3. So they're going to give you gameplay of stuff that you expect for the end of the year, maybe some gameplay trailers of stuff that are coming for the following year early on, maybe first quarter. But usually Games Week is where they give you more in detail gameplay for stuff that's coming out at the beginning of the following year and into the end of that year. Right. And it just feels like there's more substance to it. And it kind of makes me wonder what they're going to do with PSX, because PSX the same thing. It's like they may announce one or two things that may be a couple of years down the line. Hopefully we'll be getting some release dates for like Spider-Man, for God of War, stuff like that people are expecting. But I don't see it being a big announcement show. So this one felt like it was like a big announcement show. Mm-hmm. So honestly, I'm impressed with them. I've talked about how they follow this same formula all the time for their AAA games. So this third-person, over-the-shoulder action adventure with RPG elements and loot elements, and you whip it up in a blender, put a different skin on it, and boom, you got a winner. And the fact of the matter is that they do. I mean, I'm excited. I know exactly what they're giving me, and I'm excited to play it. So I can't fault anybody for feeling that way. The AAA stuff looks fantastic. I like the fact that in the pre-show, they doubled down on the indie stuff. I think they made a big mistake kind of downplaying indies when it was just a sign that they were going back to that hubris that kind of got them in trouble in the PS3 era. And the fact that they shot down the indies that helped them so much at the launch of the PS4. So it was exciting to see them come back and talk about Spelunky 2, talk about Guacamelee 2, and a couple of cool new games that are coming out. What the heck? The Hong Kong Massacre, the Concrete Genies.
Yeah, that Hong Kong joint. That's the one. It kind of looked like a
It looks like Hotline Miami.
John Woo.
Yeah.
Total John Woo.
Cool.
Total John Woo. Felt like Stranglehold from the 360 days, but kind of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad they're doubling down on that stuff. To be honest, I really don't want to play those games on a PS4. So hopefully they make their way to the Switch at some point. A lot of these games.
Funny you said that, because I'm the same way with indies lately. I think Switch is such a perfect platform for it. So it's harder for me to play indie games on like my home consoles, kind of thing. But I hear what you're saying. Those they looked real good, man. They looked real good.
They absolutely did. And then they doubled down on the VR. I'm happy for that, because again, we've had issues with Sony. We had issues with Sony not supporting their
peripherals when they drop.
Exactly. They'll always support their primary system, but if they their portable system or any of the peripherals they drop, if it's not selling the way they feel it should, it dies.
Let me interject real quick. So I shout out to Lord King, really pioneering and championing the VR movement on the ILP. We was clowning him, we was laughing, we was not feeling it, and he rode it all the way. And I'm not even going to front. Whatever that little English British gangster game that they got, the VR, I forgot it was Blood and something.
Blood and Truth. Blood and Truth.
No, it looked, and they got another one with the little mouse with the knife or whatever.
I love that game. I can't get enough of that game. I want that game so bad.
Looked good. I was very impressed. Shout out to Jay Barry as well. We were talking not too far along, but I got to give you guys credit. You guys been pioneering that VR, and they look like they're still committed to it, and that's always good to see. But continue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the best thing about it, that you're seeing more full-on games as opposed to experiences, which I think is what was worrying people about this. Like, am I just going to get these half-hour experiences and they're going to be charging me an arm and a leg for, as opposed to full-on games? So I'm glad to see this is coming through. The Blood and Truth looks fantastic. It reminds me of The Getaway and James Bond, and I heard I think Greg Miller was talking with with the giant bomb guys about like little things that he was able to do in the demo. Like something where they threw like a grenade at him, and he just reacted to the grenade in front of him, grabbed it with his hands and threw it back, and it worked. So it's just something like that line where VR sort of becomes this second nature thing where things are happening and you're not even thinking about it. It's starting to improve to the point where the experiences are really on another level, and that to me, that's a positive thing, and to see them at the forefront of that is fantastic. And so now we go to their AAA stuff, and they doubled down on a lot of stuff we had seen before. They actually showed us some more footage of Detroit, which we all found to be fantastic at E3. They showed kind of a controversial scene where it showed child abuse and whatnot. The game
murder, child murder.
Murder, yeah, let's be correct. It's murder.
Child murder.
But they went in, they showed more of the Shadow of the Colossus. They showed more of the God of War. And to me, the big one, we'd all been waiting to see, or besides The Last of Us 2 and the controversy behind that, we all know about that. The Last of Us 2 is still looking fantastic. But Sucker Punch has been kind of MIA for quite some time. People didn't know what they would come out with. And we have Ghost of Tsushima, which looks, oh my Lord. Last week we talked about piecemealing Capcom's IP, and we brought up Onimusha. Besides not having, the zombie, the zombie stuff in it, just the setting alone, the feudal Japan setting is what.
That's it. Feudal Japan, samurai. I'm in. Whatever. I don't care whatever's going on.
The fact that they're taking a realistic approach to it, kind of, and the fact that it's a samurai basically that's forced to sort of leave behind his creed in order to protect his land, and he's gonna walk that line between samurai and ninja. That is crazy.
I got Tenchu vibes.
Oh my Lord, did it get Tenchu vibes?
No,
yes, sir.
Funny you said, but that's my heartstring right there. I'm a big Tenchu guy.
Oh, we love Tenchu.
I remember they go that route too with stealth.
I was the first guy. I brought Tenchu. I brought the Japanese
to the house. Yeah.
I was the introduction to Tenchu.
Oh my Lord! When everybody jaw dropped to the floor when we started playing that Tenchu. And we didn't.
Yeah, when he got his first little murder on from the sneaky, we stopped. Everybody was like, we went out to get, our Chinese food, right? You got to set it up, Salver. We went out to go get our Chinese food. So this was amateur hour, right? At this time, we dumbed down from either Madden or the wrestling.
Wrestling.
It was like wrestling at that time. So, Sovereign's like, hello guys, I got a game, right? So he's like, all right, let's put it in. While everybody's eating, he's playing this game. And he snuck up on a dude from the back and slit his throat, and the blood. I said, "Oh my God!"
All the stuff gamers like, the stuff gamers love.
It was Metal Gear before Metal Gear Solid, so it was the first one to do it on there. And we didn't care. Back in the day, we would play these games. We didn't know what the menu said. We didn't know what the text said.
We were freestyling off the rip, like we didn't know what we was doing.
Completely.
Use that.
To get those vibes from this game, I think it's just perfect, and it goes back to what we said about Sony. We can say whatever we want about Sony and how they announce games 5 years in advance, and that's how they get over because they keep people excited. But the stuff takes forever to come out, but it does come out. They hardly cancel anything. So I mean, they perfected this formula. And they just continue to deliver on it. And the fact that you're getting people back into the fold that had left the fold proves it. Like they're very good at what they do. They're very good at promoting their games and showing their games in the best light to get people excited. And it's something that I don't think Microsoft does nearly as well. But this, to be honest, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for what 2018 brings, man, from Sony.
Can I interject something real quick too?
Oh no, I'm done, man. You guys could jump in.
where Ghost of Tsushima is concerned, one of the first things I saw people saying, well, it's a CGI. We didn't really see anything. Did you not play Sucker Punch? Is Infamous Second Son?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You would be hard pressed to go from what was CGI and that to the actual gameplay. So
Yeah.
when you have a proven developer working on something, you can almost kind of bet what you're looking at in this CGI, and I'm throwing up air quotes, it's probably going to be pretty close to what some of the gameplay is going to look like.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I don't know why in this culture we have this tendency to like start downplaying right off the rip as opposed to being excited. Like I'm hearing Simon talk about it, he's being excited. Remember when gamers were excited?
Yeah,
Exactly.
And what's more exciting is you remember they've been working on this game for 3 years. This game's nearly done, guys. It's not 2 years out. This game is almost done.
Right.
So,
Can I want to interject real quick if I can.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
So this is, and I said this on RGM last night. You may remember my little rant, Cognito.
Oh yeah.
I thought, Sony show. I thought it was pretty good for the most part. I mean, obviously, there was a lot of footage, things that we saw from a AAA perspective of games we already knew about. Obviously, Sucker Punch was like the new franchise. But I think for me, it was like a reminder that, and it reminded me of my biggest frustration with Microsoft right now. That when we hear things like, and I get the economics of game development have changed. We hear, first party games are more challenging to make, or AAA big first party, big budgeted games are harder to make now. Blah blah blah. And then we see a game like this from Sucker Punch, right? And we see games like Wolfenstein coming out, but don't have a multiplayer aspect to it. But more important, like with Sucker Punch, like they could have come out and done another Infamous, right? They didn't do that. They've completely gone in a different direction, a new IP, a new story, a new character, and this is what Sony does so much better than Microsoft. And it's my biggest frustration with Microsoft, because if I look back at previous console generations, and look, I'm not saying this to pick on Microsoft. I say this because I want them to do well.
Right.
I want them to look. They got the hardware down now. They got the services down now. The only thing they're missing is that software piece, right? With respect to first party stuff. Master Chief is great, but I'm kind of over Master Chief. Gears is great, but I'm getting tired of Gears. Forza
Over the Big Mac chicken fries? Is that what you're saying, Brad? Are you over it?
I'm feeling them. I'm right with them.
Yeah, I mean those franchises have become they've gone from being McDonald's to McDowell's. I mean, it's just not.
Yeah, you McDowell's them. Damn.
I
mean, it's just.
You don't like to hear that either, man. I've said it on Twitter, and it's like, yeah, you crazy. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I say this, and people look at me cross-eyed. I'm like, oh, you're just a Sony fanboy. No, it's not. Nothing to do with fanboy. I'm actually a fan of Microsoft. I have a lot of appreciation for what they've done for the industry. And Eric, you and I have talked about this. They always seem to kind of be ahead of the puck in terms of where the industry's going. They did it with the original Xbox. I remember they got hammered for putting in an internal hard drive. People are like, well, why? That thing's gonna, that thing's gonna get blue.
They got hammered for Ethernet port.
Yeah, they got hammered for Ethernet port. They got hammered for Xbox Live. They got hammered for voice chat. But they're always ahead of the curve. But even back then, those consoles, the OG Xbox and the 360, you could always point to specific titles that came out that were exclusive to those platforms. You could always go back and think about, oh, wow, man. Like, remember that game? Remember when Gears dropped? Remember when the first Halo dropped? Remember when you popped in Halo for the first time and the OG Xbox and that music came on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Guardian Chance.
Yeah. Goosebumps, baby.
We don't have that on the Xbox One. We don't have that.
I say this, Brap, and I say this with all sincerity. All hell, Phil. And I know people are like, oh, you're a Phil stan. Look at you. Even your gamer pick got Phil in it. You love him. All right, okay, whatever. I'm telling you this. I'm a visionary when it comes to this, man, and I'm truly believing and buying in the Kool-Aid. I drank the Kool-Aid when I was there. I honestly believe, and I'm seeing him systematically change the narrative, and I know he has those games that you're talking about in the stash. And when they start to hit, they're gonna come, and they're gonna come with full force because he got his system. It's kind of weird that the Xbox One S and his name is Phil Spencer. I'm just saying.
You got your third eye open. You got your third eye open.
I'm just saying that, he just putting his stamp on it, the Phil stamp with the S, and the X is coming, and it took the ball out of these guys' court, right? All right. He's giving us pride back. Once you instill pride in the crowd, then you can rally the crowd. They took a game that they could have pushed out. I thought like Sony was going to do Spider-Man and push it out, right? And just because to capitalize on the Spider-Man movie or the Blu-ray, when it didn't come out, I was surprised. I was
surprised Spider-Man did not launch around the time of Homecoming, the movie. I admit, I thought they would use that as an opportunity, a marketing opportunity.
And once Microsoft decided to push back Crackdown because it didn't receive that level of enthusiasm that they felt was warranted with the title, and they wanted to be a success, and they pushed it back, I said, okay, they're on that path that BRAP is talking about. They're on that path of bringing back the fundamentals and that enthusiasm back to the games, I believe. But, sorry to interrupt you, BRAP, but I know exactly. I got share the same frustration. I want them to do well, and I noticed Sony is killing it when it comes to that.
Absolutely. And shout out to the chat real quick because I see Cal in there.
Yeah,
Cal is in there lit. Anchorman is in there lit. And listen, we hear what y'all saying. Like, I mean, first of all, Cal is going hard. He's like, Sony, we giving Sony too much credit.
Man, stop that, Cal. Come on,
Cal is going hard.
You have to give them credit because they're willing. Think about this. All we hear more recently is the economics of game development, how expensive it is, how big AAA single player games aren't revenue generators anymore. How games as a service is a future. We hear about all these different changes in terms of ways to generate revenue in the business. You have to give Sony credit for taking creative chances and for allowing the people who are creating this content to take those chances.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't sit there and say we're giving him too much credit. No, we're giving him enough credit because they're taking these chances to create these phenomenal gaming experiences. That don't always work out, I think Sony even said, 3 to 4 out of 10 of the games they put out that are exclusive are profitable, and make money for them. But the point is that they allow their studios to try different things. I mean, you go back to, Guerrilla Games, going from Killzone to creating Horizon Zero Dawn, which is a complete 180 from anything they've ever done before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of what Cal mentions there is that at the core they're not the most fun games to play, and to a certain extent, I can understand that. Like some certain games, like I'm gonna be honest, like I go to Uncharted for the characters and the grandeur of the game, the tech showpiece that it is. I realize that the gameplay in Uncharted isn't the greatest, and it's never been. It's improved steadily from game to game, but it's still not the best in terms of cover shooting and stuff like that.
Cal does have a good point. He said they only dropped Horizon and GT this year.
He said they're heavily reliant on third party MS. I mean, yeah, I want to comment on something Anchorman said, and he's saying like, we giving him credit, but Jesus Christ, he's tired to hear about what Xbox sucks. And we're gonna get into that with the whole, when I get into the next segment. But what I want to focus on is that at the end of the day, what's being presented, is it getting you excited? Is it something that you want to play? If you honestly are walking away from Paris Games Week and saying that none of that stuff interests you, then all power to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not for you. But the consensus seems to feel that, hey, like what they're showing looks good.
If I can piggyback, I'm sorry.
When it comes down to it, it's like, look, like they are relying on third parties. There's no denying that, they have, Persona, stuff like that. And this year wouldn't have been so bad if, these games that they put, all this faith into sucked. But this year, almost every game they put faith into was, a home runs. It's not the fact that, it's not the fact that they rely on those games. It's the fact that for the most part, games like Nier Automata, games like
Neo,
games like Hellblade. Like these games aren't pursued by Microsoft, it seems like, so it gives them that edge.
Right. And those types would have been pursued.
Persona 5, I think that's the only game Microsoft couldn't have got, regardless what happened.
Right.
But if you look at it from the perspective of those other games, you know, obviously there was deals that was brought up to get that, but it's like if you could have took those, you know, those we'll call them guns. If you would have took those guns out of Sony's arsenal, what would Sony have had this year? They would have had Persona 5, Horizon, and GT. But since it looks like they didn't really try to get these games, because a lot of these are Japanese-oriented games, and Microsoft has had, you know, we haven't seen them really pursue these kind of games that much in the past couple years. They had Persona, they had Hellblade, they had Nier Automata. It's just like one after another.
Yeah, we could very well see these games on Xbox next year. I mean, Phil has constantly talked about his trips to Japan and the strides he's made in that. He hasn't said anything, but again, we've always said you know, he's gun shy to talk about stuff till he's 100% certain it is an actual game or it is actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Cal was clarifying. He's saying he's not saying that what they're saying that they're showing is not great. He's just saying that as far as Sony's first party, that's his specific issue. He's saying that in his opinion, Sony's first party isn't that great. I
thought that Paris game show was indicative of how Sony feels about the X.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And can I just piggyback real quick?
Yeah.
This is the point I'm saying. Like the aggressiveness and keeping the boot on the neck. We all know the X is coming, right?
Yeah.
So what does Sony do? They get aggressive and they put it back in the mind share of, hey, we're still here. We got games. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what's important, isn't it? Isn't this what we doing? What are we doing this for?
Let me tell you. And the funny thing is, masters at switching up the narrative, and Microsoft is like, it's like they're playing a ballet dance, and Microsoft can't catch the steps. It's like every time they feel that they got something, all right, we got the resolution, baby. It ain't about resolution. It's about games. What?
It's almost like it's planned perfectly, because if you look at all the X1X reviews coming out now, right, they're situated perfectly right after Paris Games Week. So everybody who reviews the X, right, most people have said, you know what, hardware wise, this is a fantastic leap forward. But looking at Sony's Paris Games Week, the big issue with Xbox, and I've seen it in people's games. Exactly, and I've seen it in people's written reviews for the X, where this stuff seeps in. It's like, well, if you look at Paris Games Week, that's where the issue with Xbox lies, and that's just the narrative. Whether we believe it or not, that's what's being portrayed.
My take on the show was, and I saw some controversial things. I saw some beautiful things. I saw competition at its finest. And I'm pretty sure that they drew up a way. They said, well, how do we want to approach this? And they was looking at the narrative of the X. He said, well, you know, Phil came out and punched us in the mouth. Let's go punch Phil in the mouth. And yo, listen, the brutality and the level of content that they were showing, like, honestly, I'm timid. I'm not gonna put that out there. I'm not gonna put that. You will get the game and find out that there's child murder in it later. I'm not gonna put that. We're talking about
the controversial aspects of the trailer.
Yes,
both, the Detroit with the kind of like spousal abuse, and the Last of Us with the hanging women and feminists feeling away.
The pure visuals and the emotion that it brought out. It's just your trailer. Without a date, they gave you trailers without dates, but they controlled the narrative, because you're talking about this days after, and you're like, yo, did you see? Like, if you go the wrong way, the child dies. And then my child looked over at me like, you gonna play that? I'm like, yes, I'm shallow, yes. But I'm like, yo. I honestly love the competition standpoint. Is they're gonna push this industry forward. They're necessary evils with each other. And Nintendo's the wild card. Nintendo's doing things that we don't even think that they're supposed to be doing with a 700p system, 900.
And no voice chat.
No voice. No, they got no voice chat. And they put the phone out.
When you talked about them trying to sneakily get in there and kind of pal up, they have a Xenoblade Direct coming on the 7th, on the same day as the X.
Nintendo's like, okay, here is the the map that everyone else does. Okay, how much does that cost? Okay, this costs that much. We don't need all that. Okay, we just need this, and this. It's like, but that's like a lot of these features is like been here since 2005. Nintendo, they don't care about that. Okay, we need this, and this. Stop arguing with me. Go make the system.
If you build it, they will come. Literally, I watch how my kids. I turn on the Switch. I swear, I could be playing Destiny, whatever. My kids will walk past me. Whatever. I put on a Sony game. I turn on that Switch. They could be all the way up in the damn attic. They will come running downstairs, enthusiastic, wide eye, to figure out what's happening next, Daddy. What's up?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that happened today. I asked my daughter if she wanted to play the 3DS. She's like, no. She's 3 years old. She's like, I want to play the Mario Hat game.
Yeah. Cal said he about to trade his pro for a Switch. Especially you got kids, bro. Cal, you got kids. So I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
that's what's going to get you to the house. But like I said, I just want to wrap this topic. I know we went on a couple of tangents, but I definitely hear what everyone's saying, and I just all I wanted to say is I just want to give credit where credit is due. I personally thought it was a good show. I thought it was a solid show. Yes, there were some things that we already knew about or may have seen before, but I felt they showed more extensive trailers. I'm excited about Detroit, big time. I'm really excited about Last of Us 2. Like you said, the VR games looked pretty. The gangster one looked pretty cool for me, and I just thought it was a good counter to try to take a little thunder away because we all know the X is coming, and I just felt from a competitive standpoint, that's what you need to do. Like you need to get, because let's be honest, if you're a Sony guy, right, and you don't have an Xbox, and the Xbox One X is coming. As a fan of that console, you're going to feel, well, okay, what do we have kind of thing. And I felt it was perfect timing to get the mind share back, to give their own base confidence coming in, like, you guys are good for 2018. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And I forgot to tell you, we didn't even talk about God of War, y'all, real quick. What does everybody feel about God of War, the God of War trailer? My only thing is the boy was talking a little too much, but that's
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I'm a little worried about God of War, to be honest with you.
I didn't like it.
It doesn't seem they need to deviate from old God of War gameplay. I understand giving Kratos more depth and making him more of a character, and the narrative part. I have a feeling they're gonna do fantastic with that. The gameplay, when he threw, combat looks kind of like a play on what they used to do, and a lot of people didn't like that combat. It felt button mashy.
I'm telling you, I'm sorry, but I feel like ever since The Last of Us was made, they're like
doing the same thing.
They literally like, okay, let's take a zombie apocalypse world, throw The Last of Us format.
I know where you're going.
Let's take a God of War game, throw The Last of Us format on it. It's like, look, like I get it. It's cool. The Last of Us did well. That gameplay is generally it's key to the hardcore.
Yeah.
So they generally get a lot of the hardcore to buy their game. So usually does decent, but it's like, come on, man. Like, let's be real here. Like, I get we go after Microsoft for the Halo, the Gears, and the Forza, but is it okay for Sony to make the same game with different skins?
Tell about it. This is a valid argument because
when you break down the gameplay mechanics of those games, they're not all the same though.
Okay. No, the mechanics, no.
So I understand like the design, open world design.
Here's the thing.
When you break down the mechanics, though,
I would be okay with that. But we go from a game that had a previous trilogy. They changed that entirely around to
our visual, because we didn't get a chance to touch yet. Let's give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I'm still sitting there with the quine eye on it. But I I know what Attic is saying, and I was praying that it wasn't that. I saw The Last of Us 2, and I was just like, yeah, that looks like The Last of Us with God of War, and I'm not doing that. I don't want that. I really want that flow, that feel, that Kratos, that overpowering beast, and I don't know. I don't get it from it yet, but also remember they know that's they show fire, and they was putting out the other stuff for you to see. So I guess I thought that was filler, to be honest.
And I think that's a little bit of column A and column B like coming together, because I think what they're doing is answering you. This has been my issue, and look, I'm not trying to go back and say we're bashing Microsoft, but I think Halo and Gears have value as properties. I just think you need to kind of like reinvent them a little bit and kind of move them forward, because I think Chief and Marcus, and I said this before to some people coming back at me, Marcus should have died in Gears 4. Let's move it forward. You know what I'm saying? But I think Chief and Marcus are holdouts from their time period. The same way I think Kratos, if you had Kratos in there right now, and this happened with Ascension did not do well, because I think people were kind of getting tired of, all right, we get it. Kratos is pissed off. The God screwed him. It's almost like Kratos is Twitter.
Let's be real.
Let it go.
The Kratos in this game wasn't too far off from the Kratos in the other games, okay?
Well, I mean, it remains to be seen.
He just calmed down. That's all.
But what I'm saying
He's still a vindictive asshole. He still don't care about anyone else in his life but himself.
No, I get that, but I'm saying when I was playing Ascension, I was sitting there. I was kind of bored with it. I was like, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm tired of Ares, and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going to happen with this new God of War, but I can see. That's why I said it's a column A, column B. You got Last of Us feel, and it's true. Sony could be playing a slippery slope with kind of following that aesthetic with all their games. But in a way, they're saying, okay, that kind of worked. Let's see what we can do. At least they're trying something new. Whether they fall in their face with it, at least they're pushing something like a different aesthetic with it. They're not trying to go
I will say this though. I kind of feel like Last of Us and Uncharted jacked aspects from God of War. Like, the interactive cutscenes that Uncharted and Last of Us do really, really well? Like, God of War was doing that way back on the PS2.
Wait, time out. That's Shenmue, baby.
Well, you get what I'm saying.
All of these are born from Shenmue.
Yeah, let's dial that all back.
I'm talking about God of War.
You made a direct comparison to a game that took a game from someplace else. Let's go.
I mean, are we going to start comparing first-person shooters to the origin of every first-person shooter?
To Wolfenstein, yes.
Well, but that's not uncommon. I mean, game developers borrow ideas from concepts. It's whether or not they execute on those concepts.
Yes.
Facts.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Execute and move forward.
So overall, I mean, I'm assuming the Lords were pretty okay with Sony's show for the most part. Right?
We're talking about it. We're talking about it.
All right, let's move on. And I'm up to bat. So we had the PUBG reveal at Paris Games Week. Look, King is stupid. A lot of announcements. So we got a console launch exclusive for an Xbox preview program. It's going to be December 12th, so right in the middle of the month. That PUBG is going to be there. Now I'm assuming it's going to be a digital code in the box, and it looks like they're going to launch 1.0 version of PUBG in conjunction with the PC version. So definitely, excited about that, and I'm definitely excited that PUBG has a release date. It's a huge exclusive. Regardless of how anybody feels about the game personally, let's give it credit. It's one of the fastest growing games on PC. It looks, as far as the mind share, it's the current mind share right now. Everyone's going crazy. This seems to be the new wave. What I wanted to comment on was something that I saw going on during the reveal, and I'm gonna go on a little rant, only for the simple fact that I didn't see too many people talking about it. Now I know, shout out to BRAP, he's in the chat. He was on my Twitter timeline during the time we were both kind of watching reveal at the same time. And this is
I do want to say this for you on your rant. Us at the Iron Lords podcast in no way can talk anything Lord Cognito's about to say.
Listen, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. All I'm saying is this, we just talked about the Sony Paris Games Week, right? and we just talked about how we felt from a competitive standpoint that was a good counter to try to take a little thunder away from the X, because we know the X is coming. We got Digital Foundry dropping, people getting those, review systems, they're getting the games, we're starting to hear more and more, a lot of positive stuff about boost mode, yada, yada, yada. We'll get in that with Addicts Topic. The thing that I noticed was that, okay, so for me, obviously Xbox is my preference. I want to see what, quote unquote, the home team is going to do after Sony's Paris show. Because we all felt Sony Paris show was a good, solid show for the most part. So, it starts out, and right off the bat, there's technical issues, there's mic issues, the mics don't work. Now, granted, is that Greeny's fault? No. Is it one of those situations where this has never happened in the history of press conferences and games? No. But all I'm saying is it just feels indicative of the year Microsoft is having in 2017.
It just puts more emphasis on that capital L they've had 2000.
He affectionately called 2017 for Microsoft the year of the L, as far as from the exclusive standpoint and things like this. And this was like their one thing to not botch. like you got PUBG exclusive on your platform. Why your mic's not working? Why is the showcase of the demo of the game? Now I get it. PUBG might not be the greatest game to demo. It's a game based on tension. It's like the Hunger Games. 100 people drop into an island, and it's a very tense thing. But it just seems that when it comes to presentation, this is where Microsoft is a little bit behind Sony, and I just want them to work on it, because in my opinion, this is me speaking, that type of a presentation where you're having all these that's unacceptable to me. You cannot have that. You cannot be fumbling over the mic. It took so much thunder away from the December 12th announcement that it made me feel like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But the reality, it was supposed to be a great announcement. So I'm done with my rant. I know I'm going to get the bashing Microsoft again comments though, but I got to keep it 100. And a lot of you guys, shout out to my people out on Twitter and stuff like that. I just felt the way, because y'all know that conference was not displayed right in your heart. Keep it true to yourself. Like that's all I'm saying, because I'm a fan of the platform, but let's not try to act like they ain't bumble and fumble that whole situation. That's all I'm saying. But I'm out my feeling. I'm gonna bring it to the rest of the laws, but
I sat there and it did everything I didn't want it to do. I said, from the mics to what was going on, like they building fake tension to the people can't play right. I said, I can't believe they're doing this right now.
It almost felt like the Crackdown thing. Remember when Crackdown, they had the people that was
the girl cussing.
That's to the point that they need to stop freestyling, because they are the worst at freestyling.
Hey, you guys know what they were doing, don't you?
Talk to me. What they doing?
They were giving a foreshadow. They're like, oh, you know what? You know why our mics don't work? You know why the audio don't work? Because this game ain't gonna work at launch.
Oh my god!
I literally understood the knee will be bent at that point in time. When they were doing the game, I said, "Oh God!"
At the moment you made the bet.
Yeah, it's too bad you didn't make it. Sideshow Bob.
No.
We can get some bets together whenever you grab those things that you call down there and you ready to walk with them. Whenever you want to grab those things, you want to grab that sack down there and you want to walk with that sack, let me know. But please be quiet.
Anyway, this man act like he's want to bet against me at all.
Wait,
oh my God.
Okay, you want to start? I can do what you do. You just lost $100 and some odd to Lord Cognito. How that go?
Living someone else's dream.
Yeah, I'm doing you. I put on my attic mask. Look at my attic mask. Hold on. If I'm putting on my attic mask, I'm gonna get sick, and I'm gonna see y'all later and go to sleep. Anyway.
After that podcast, because I missed that podcast.
You fell asleep.
Hold on. I sent you a message when I listened to it and said,
no, he did. He said, I wish I was on that podcast. He said, I would have been. Yeah, he said,
why wasn't you there? Was sleep holding you?
No,
What's going on?
I got stuck at work for 16 hours.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, sleeping.
So real
Anyway.
let's get back to chat. Kick, and then I want to get BRAP on this because BRAP was also watching the show at the same time. But get
Yeah, so I'm watching this thing and I'm like, I really can't. I can't believe that I keep giving these guys chances on top of chances, and they think they're nice at freestyling. I've come to this assessment that Sony writes down their stuff, they hit their written, they walk it out, they go over the show a million times, and it comes through flawlessly. You see their cues, how Sony do? They do their cues. Yeah, Tony. Yeah. And it goes
it's like Radio City Music Hall.
It is, yeah.
It's like a Broadway production. They got people hanging from the stage like, oh, I didn't even see that.
Lord King, let me ask you a quick question. Do you think, and this is what I was trying to make sense of it, right? And again, I know I'm angry and I'm emotional about it, but I was trying to make sense of it. Do you think it just has something to do with the fact that Sony comes from that movie, studio background, whereas they just know how to present?
That is a really good possibility.
I think
Seamus Blackley touched on that.
Hey, actually, that's right, Eric. Seamus Blackley said that on a podcast. He said that because I think it was TXR when TXR was around. They were talking about the whole Sony, like how Sony lets their first party try new things, and he's like, look, he goes, it comes down to the end of the day that Sony's been in the music business, they've been in the movie business, they get it.
Well, I noticed that Microsoft is not getting it. They freestyle rapping, and it's not going well at all. Like, how many times do you mess? Yeah, like, okay, first of all,
King of the
that game is not exactly that game is not supposed to be presented like those. That's a game that you show in trailers. You show the exciting parts. It's too much dull points for that game to be shown. Like somebody laying in the corner waiting for you to walk past. I'm sorry. It's a survival game that you can play on one match for like 10 hours. Don't move a muscle eating a potato chip. There you go. Got it. That's how it is. All right. So. And people are trying to figure out what's this, and Microsoft wants to be so hip, so trendy, so Twitter, so new. Let's do it off the riff. We got guys that stop it, write it down. Let's follow the script. Let's do the formula, and let's get it done. I was disgusted with the show. I said I took a knee. I literally physically took a knee and said, "You're sovereign." In my head, "You're sovereign. You have won." And I saw that the game wasn't ready. I said, it looks like Fortnite might beat it to the show. Right. Like Fortnite might actually get out before them. And then I hear the crap.
I think Fortnite's actually technically out now.
This is crazy. But I hear this crap that they said that the game comes out in December 12th, right? But at the end of the month, it's going to roll out official. So you're just doing this to spite me. Huh? You're just making me lose this bet on purpose.
Let's get Lord BRAP in here because he actually was on my timeline during this whole, the whole PUBG announcement. So I wanted to get your perspective on that.
Yeah, Cognito, I agreed with everything. When you said the man has a mic, why is his mic not working? It's like the most basic thing of any presentation, right? I guess is to have a mic that works, but I agree with you, man. I was shaking my head because I kept thinking when we saw the crackdown footage at was it San Diego Comic-Con? Is that when that happened?
Yeah.
I didn't think and let me tell you something. Larry Herb is Major Nelson's great. He handled that like a pro. I mean, he really did.
I feel like we need to talk about the skeleton in the room too. How they gonna show the PUBG trailer from E3?
If I say that, I'm gonna be called a hater. I'm gonna be called.
Don't call me a hater. Write it down. Put it on my back. I don't care.
Why can't you come up with a new sizzle trailer for Gamescom?
What else are they gonna show for that game?
It's like
But
Microsoft
at least show like another angle.
Like Lord King said, another guy camping.
It's like Phil Spencer's carrying around a thumb drive in his wallet with all the trailers from E3, just giving it to people at every event. Was use one of these.
Just use this one.
Yeah.
Okay, Brap. I'm sorry.
What I say to you? I asked you on Twitter. I said, do you feel like at times like they're phoning it in?
Yep.
Like
That's what it feels like.
you have a beast, like you said, the beast is coming, you know, or whatever. You should. I mean, it should be that thing where you just like it should be WWE pyrotechnics going off. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, Greenberg should have walked out like the Nature Boy Ric Flair with a robe on.
No, he's staying away from robes, man. He's staying away from robes.
The robe might come undone.
Come in like Dusty Rhodes. That'd be my thing.
I do not endorse this talk.
He's gonna come out that PUBG robe on.
Yeah.
Don't come out of that one. That's never
Hey,
good.
what's funny is Aaron Greenberg, the kind of dude that I could see doing some shit like that.
Yeah.
So you were saying, Brap, with the trailers and stuff like that, and you'll finish it off.
I just, what else are they going to show though? I mean, like, I think the game is pretty much. I mean, it's an arena game.
I get that they can't show much, but they can show something else besides the shit they already showed.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. They can. Yeah,
it's like a tournament.
It's like at Gamescom. Why'd they show Forza 7 same trailer from E3?
Well, they could have even, like, let's be constructive. Like, they could have even showed the cooperative one, because isn't there a mode in PUBG where you can play teams as opposed to the chicken dinner, everybody by themselves kind of thing? Like, they could. Shout out to B Money. I understand your point, and it is a tough game to show. All I'm saying is that try something different. Don't reuse the same assets.
Maybe like another scene or something.
Exactly. Do something.
All they needed to do was show a sizzle reel of deaths, of kills, right at the point of being shot or whatever, getting hit with a frying pan. Like show 10 of those back to back, and then you have your trailer, and you get people excited. Like, wow, look at all the different stuff I can do in this game.
I'm not gonna lie. I would rather have just seen a PUBG PNG picture on the screen than the same shit I see at E3.
Yeah. Yeah, and the
shout out to Rick Dallas at the end of the chat. He said they ran out of film. I'm done.
Look at it this way. It's not the fact that this game's not hard to show. It's the fact that the moment you show something you've already showed at a previous event, you've lost the audience. You've
lost the audience. That's like spitting the same lyrics again.
The same verse. That's what I'm talking about.
The same verse.
You can't do that. We know your lyric word for word. We know what's going to happen. We know the dude with the pot will hit the dude with the people. We know what's going to happen.
People will sit there and I get people's logic when they say stuff like, "Oh, I think that this game's just hard to show." Let them show that same trailer again at E3 and see how many people be coming around with torches.
Shout out to Lord Cal. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I would have loved them to show that. Like, 4K. Talk about the Xbox One X improvements. Talk about what 4K aspect. You got so many other things you can talk about and still make the announcement and avoid the thing. But I'm done. Let me get it to Lord Eric and Lord Sav and what you guys feel, because I'm gonna go on be in my feelings segment all day.
Nah, like I said before, I just feel at times like, and again, you'll get hate for saying. I just feel like they phoned it in, just like kind of like with Gamescom, kind of like with this. It's just sort of like you can't get people excited if you don't seem like you're excited yourself at times. And it seems like every time like they don't have an answer for something, they go, like it started off, "You're the Scorpio." It's like anytime you ask, it's like Xbox One X.
Remember at Gamescom with the bowl full of controllers?
The what?
The bowl full of controllers.
Yep.
Yes.
First it was donuts, then it was the controller bowl.
Please don't talk about that. I was thoroughly disgusted with that as well.
But again, they held that show hostage because they knew everybody was there to wait to order, for the pre-orders to go live. You know what I'm saying? But every answer can't be just, the beast.
Real quick, man. Who was the actor? Because I brought up San Diego Comic Con. Remember when they put Larry Herb out there, Major Nelson? He had like a pro. But who's the guy that stuck the controller in his nose or the mic or whatever?
Oh, that was God. What's the actor's name? Alan Tudyk or something like that.
Alan Tudyk, yeah.
I said, okay, this thing just went left. Dude just put the mic in his nose, and homegirl came back and grabbed it and put it next to her mouth. I'm like, what? And that's right. If you remember after that segment, Major Nelson was off camera. I said, "Yo, he's back there talking to Phil, and he's going off right now."
Nelson's probably
like, you know, but no, I'm just saying, you know, like, you know, the hype, you know, for X is real. People are looking forward to it, but it seems like any time that there's no answer for something else, when people, you know, other gamers want to know other things, it comes back to the X, and it's like, you know, that can't be like the answer for everything, because you have a whole world of gamers who want different things.
And the biggest reason that can't be the answer to everything is because what are they going to do after the 7? Like, the X is out. Like,
right. And I think I asked Cognito this on Twitter too. I said, you know, do you think in some cases they really like kind of only answer to like their Twitter base? Because it seems like every move that they make is an answer to what the Twitter base is doing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I think, listen, you know, it may be one of those things that Phil is looking at the long-term game, and I still got respect for Phil.
Me too.
It's just one of those things where they may have to say, you know what, guys, this is the situation we're in 2017. This is the roadmap. You know, we're limited as far as what we can do, the scale-bound constellation, whatever. You know, we know the system's coming as far as the Xbox One X. We're going to promote that heavy. We got PUBG. That's our big thing, you know, to kind of. And I just think that it just seems, I think the vibe I'm getting is like 2018 is the year that they probably really can do stuff. But, you know, for the base that's acting like everything in 2017 was lit. No, it's not lit. It's not lit. No, I'm sorry. I don't care if you call me bashing, and it's not lit. Be real.
No, it's not, dude. It's not bashing. It's not bashing. You know why I say it's not bashing? Because the fact of the matter is, you know, you guys rock with Xbox. I rock with. I last generation 360 was like pretty much my premier platform. I didn't get a PS3 until like 3 years in because they were talking that craziness.
Get a second job. Get a second job.
Your credit card information got stolen, but we're not going to tell you for like months.
Exactly, but that's how I rock. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit there and play with corporations because in all this, they retweeted me, they love me, they retweeted me, they're the best, they're family, and then that's why people were all bent and hurt that they were giving Xboxes to, you know, media people. They said something disparaging about Xbox. How could they get up? Because it's business, and you should learn a lesson on this. It's not about what you want. It's about the average business to run. You know?
Facts.
I was laughing.
Feelings last week.
He said, learn the lesson. Hate on them and just get an Xbox for free.
Do you guys feel like 2018 is going to be way better?
No.
I got hope. I got hope for 2018. Me personally,
I don't know. I think it's gonna be better.
I want to hear.
It can't be worse. I think they finally have to say something about what's down the pipeline. You can't tell me that, you know, a year and a half, 2 years into whatever it is that you're working on.
You know what's going to get about. You know what's going to get announced at E3, don't you? Scale down 2.
Don't you start.
You know something? You're right. 2018 will be better because they're coming off from the basement. So there's no place else but up.
Look, I mean, let's look at, you know, 2018. Like, okay, they got State of Decay. They showed it really bad at E3. They didn't really show anything that made people want to grasp to that game. That's one of my most hyped games too. They did okay. Crackdown.
It's probably hot right now.
The only game I can see that they showed in 2018 that, you know, they showed it good is Sea of Thieves at E3. That's the only game, because I feel like Crackdown got destroyed by its presentation, and so did State of Decay.
Yeah. Let's transition this into your topic, which is the Xbox One X. What at it? Let's get into it. Let's switch gears.
Yeah.
Let's see how we can change this thing around, and let's see what's actually popping right now. So,
we better make this topic quick because we got 25 minutes.
We got 25. We good.
But, so the X obviously is coming out in 2 days. What is, first off, what's the first game you guys are playing? Because I'm curious by that.
Oh, stealing the poll question already. All right. Now let's get the guests. Let's get Lord BRAP and Lord Eric. Let's get them in. Well, that's right. They're not getting X.
Well, this is where.
Oh!
You please.
Excuse me then. Since I'm getting 5 of them, let me be the first one to tell you.
No better hit up, Lord.
Look at that. King, not only is King David in with this bend the knee segment for, you know, who's winning November, he bought 5. He's like, they winning.
Yo, listen, I'm supporting to the fullest. Let's go, Microsoft. Let's go.
That way.
Yo, King gonna push them over that NPD line if it kills them.
I know,
right?
King was single-handedly.
Buying 5.
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. If I really knew the allotment, I would take out a small business loan, purchase all of them, and then put them back on resale for everybody for $1,500 a piece and make my bread. Capitalism, love it. Listen, man. Yo, I am anticipating playing Assassin's Creed in full 4K, beautiful 30 frames locked. I wasn't gonna buy Forza, but I'm buying Forza now. There's games that I want to see. I want somebody to walk through that door and get blown away. I want to blow myself away. Pause. Listen, is it me though? Because I was talking to Lord Cognito. Is it me? But when Ledbetter's showing the differences between Xbox One X and PlayStation Pro and regular Xbox, you sitting there like, what's the difference? I literally said to myself, like, uh-oh. Am I purchasing something that I don't?
Bugging. I just feel it's one of those things that unless you have the 4K assets or 4K YouTube, you're not gonna see it. So and it's unfortunate because you know what I'm saying, Calpo. It's unfortunate because, like I say, then you can really differentiate. You know what I mean? But if you're looking at it on a standard YouTube player, that's what resolution is in the 720 1080p, and they're doing the side by side. You're like, this ain't you're not gonna see it. No, I totally hear where you're coming from on that, but it's definitely an effect. But as far as I want to get Saul because he's getting next on day one. What's the first kind of thing you do on the first kind of game?
For me, I always like to work up from my least, the least excitement that I have for a game to the most excited.
You guys are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's how I play. That's how I do. So the first thing I'm gonna play is Lucky's Tale. I just want to see Lucky's Tale.
So after you play that for 15 minutes, what's the second game?
Oh damn!
Oh wow!
So then,
because I don't know what that game right now.
I'm gonna hop into Gears and I want to see what Gears looks like. So I'll play a stage of that or whatnot and see what that is. And then it'll be Wolfenstein, and then I'll probably finish off with Assassin's Creed. That'll be, and I have the week off, so I'm going in. I'm going in.
Nice. Take that week off. Yeah, with I'm sorry if you finish on something, I'll jump in after you finish.
Yeah, and then after that, I want to check all the back and patch stuff and see how that stuff runs, and just kind of run the system to its paces and see if what they're talking about is true.
Facts. Yeah, man. I mean, Lord Cognito here, the tech. So for me personally, I just love technology and anything that's new and get to honestly, it's more so to push this 4K TV purchase that I had from last year because I was kind of future-proofing myself for when the X came and the Pro and stuff like that. So, now that I got that in place, you always want that medium that's going to show off that TV, right? You want that medium that's going to push it, to the next level. For as far as me, obviously you guys have been talking about Wolfie. I want that Wolfenstein 2 so bad. But if that patch ain't ready, I'm probably going to jump. It's probably going to be like what Lord King said. I'm probably going to do Assassin's Creed. I just want to see the differences. I want to see, that 4K goodness, see what that's looking like, as far as, and also I want to push a lot of native 4K games. I'm going to jump in Gears 4. I actually held off, shout out to Cycle in Chat. I actually held off on Gears 4. There's a couple of games I've held off. I have not played in my backlog. Gears 4 was one of them for this purpose.
Yep.
Witcher 3.
Man,
I'm actually excited.
X is turning you all into PC gamers waiting for shit.
You know what I'm saying? So I got like a lot of stuff. I'm looking at my, I refresh my, I go in my Xbox storage. I refresh the Xbox One enhanced list, and I keep seeing things added. Halo 5's on the list. I want to see what's going on. Ooh. And for me personally, and I don't think this gets enough credit, is Halo Master Chief Collection, because I always love what the vision for that game was supposed to be. We all know what actually happened.
Mhm.
But you know, I'm so excited to see that they didn't abandon it. You know what I mean? And to actually go back, put 4K assets, and to just get the game functional. Like I'm such a Halo fanboy from the classic standpoint to actually see what they can do on the X. I'm excited about that. So I got like a couple of things I'm gonna put it through the paces. And like I said, if it's up to me, Bethesda, if you got that patch, Lord Anchorman, you in the chat, speak to God Howard, speak to Machine Game, whoever you need to speak to. Let me know if that patch is available for because I need that native 4K
They blocked
60
him.
good. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
They blocked him. He can't contact them no more. They blocked him.
No doubt.
So as far as the non-X people, which I'm seeing, Lord Brad, Addict, let's go bring it back to Addict. So what is it going to take for you to get excited, or is there any particular thing that you want to see the X do to get you kind of on the train?
Not really.
Oh, nothing.
Nah, I mean it's nothing against people who want to get it, you know, but it's just like I got an S that plays the same game. So I don't got a 4K display, so why would I go out and buy that too?
What if they secretly dropped the Destiny 2 patch for 1080 60? Then we'll
They're
need
not going to, though.
That's the question. I kind of bought the RGM last night. Shout out to Bell and the guys over there. It was my question was, again, for the people on the fence who are like, hey, I don't have 4K TV. What if they now offer these performance modes like they're doing with Gears, like they're doing with Rise of Tomb Raider, like Lord Eric, Lord Brap? Would that, let's go with Lord Eric because I kind of brought this to Lord Brap last night. So you know, would that kind of entice you? Like, let's just say they had, you know, Destiny 2 was announced, they had a 60 frames per second patch at 1080p, or I know Arc actually has 1080p 60 as well as an X enhancement. Would that kind of lure you a little bit, Lord Eric, or no?
Where I kind of stand on the X right now is I'm almost there. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm kind of waiting on is the impressions from like people like you guys. Like I don't trust the shills at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust. Was that it?
You can't really take what they say into justice now. They waiting for games to play this. It don't matter. Their mind is gonna trick them to
don't take my word for it because I'm selling them. So I'm gonna tell you it's fantastic and you need it like blood.
This is how it's gonna go. They'll be. Let's say they play an Assassin's Creed. And let's say, you know, theoretically they're like, oh, I don't see huge difference. The inside of their minds will be like, nah, there's a difference. Look, right there, difference. I waited 2 weeks, difference.
Yeah.
And for you, there won't be a difference.
It doesn't matter. I already played the game. Man, you good with waiting, I'm not. So what's the matter?
But my question, Attic, is why are you upset that we're waiting? Like, why does that bother you? Why
it dies with another person's story?
It's not that it upsets me. I just don't understand.
Because you don't 3 podcasts. I can't believe that you guys waited.
I just don't understand. Like,
Lord Cognito.
All right, let me explain something to you. 4K TV, Dolby Atmos. We have the equipment to maximize the purchase.
Okay, but my thing is, if you're excited for a game, you ain't waiting.
So your thing is, if you're excited for the game, well, remember, you forget, like, we got Destiny, we got things to play to hold us down. You know what I mean? It's just extra stuff to play that we want to see.
I don't know. I couldn't wait. To play
That's what I'm saying. Like, all I'm saying is, okay, like, people that are waiting for these games, they weren't really waiting for these games. Like, you can't.
You wasn't really waiting for the games. I was waiting for the game.
I'm waiting. Listen, I look at my Xbox every day, and it's a struggle not to touch it.
What you're saying is, you're trying to tell me I don't understand what you're saying. You don't understand me. I pay 10 grand for my television, and I'm making sure my X is maximizing this. Those games, I don't want to see them in a subpar form. I have the capabilities to see it, and it's what they wanted. Listen. You don't get it because Microsoft put a 4K screen up there. They could have put a regular screen up there. They wanted you to see it in its real form. I want to play it how they intended it.
Hey, Brad.
Yep.
True or false? If Assassin's Creed Origin comes out, let's say they replace that with Destiny 2, how many of these people would have waited for it?
No one would have waited for it. You guys would have played it.
I didn't wait for Destiny. That's the one I
No,
bought.
That's what I'm saying. If
We
you
all said
would
that.
replace Assassin's Creed with Destiny,
But my
no,
point-
all I'm saying is
Okay.
people that are hyped for these games, they weren't hyped for these games.
You know like what you're missing? What?
How can you tell me what's in my heart about?
Oh, yeah.
Listen. This is where Addicts World. Back to Addicts World. Addicts World.
Well,
Addicts World. If it's not about me, it's like, listen. If it's not about you, you don't care, and we understand this. But
my statements. How
Let
about
Addict get off. Yeah, let Addict get off. Let Addict get off.
I'm saying that.
Go ahead.
Forget it.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, let him talk. Go ahead, Attic. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm tired of everything I say. He has a smart ass comment over.
Go ahead, Addict. Get your point off. Get your point off about the games.
go ahead, Addict. Go. Okay, he went to sleep.
All right, so we moving
So
on.
since he went to sleep, I want to say this, right? It's only a couple of days, to be honest with you, to wait for those games. If Destiny was months, this is a couple of games. A couple of days. I can do that.
This is a week.
I can only say for Wolfie, I would have waited.
Exactly. Like, listen.
Yeah, I would have played it over again.
Yeah,
I'm
I would have played over.
I'm a Wolfenstein head. I'm even more of an Assassin's Creed head. You know how difficult it's been for a week to have those games on my hard drive and not touch them? I even told Cognito yesterday I was considering cracking for a little bit tomorrow. So I get to see the difference between what the S looks like and what the X looks like later on in the evening.
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, honestly, these are games that I love. Like I absolutely devoured the Old Blood and the New Order. Every Assassin's Creed, I've said this a bunch of times on this podcast, I will clean the map out in an Assassin's Creed game. Like, that's how I play those games. So to have that back and not touch it, I'm playing Mario. I'll be honest, my Switch has me held down.
That's what I was just about to say. That's what I'm trying to. That's the point I was trying to get across the Attic. And I understand his sentiment. His sentiment is like, okay, you guys really ain't that excited for that game.
Oh, I'm super excited.
But the difference now is the way the culture is now. We've got so many AAA title games to play. I can literally bury myself in Mario Odyssey and be fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing This Is the Police, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, let you know, like, and I can't stop playing it. So it's not that these games are not hot. It's just that I have other distractions to hold me for that week.
Games are not hot.
Comes, then I'm good. And the last point I want to make is when you're a tech head, right? It's a different mentality. You know, as a tech guy, you want the newest, the hottest, the latest. That's always been my mentality. If you know that there's something out there that may perform a little better, you just want to see how much better, right? You just want to see what it is. And that's the mentality. I think that's the part that Attic has to disconnect with us, because his thing is like, hey, if the game's is hot, I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not waiting 6 months out. Like, if that were the case, I would have not touched Gears of War at all. Like, I went through the Gears of War campaign, and I'll go through it again. It's just, one of those things. But the games came out in such close proximity to the launch of the system that I just said, look, I'm not gonna do it. That's it. But I'm super excited for them. Super excited for those games.
I can't wait till they come out.
November 7th is approaching. We'll see what happens.
Tuesday, so many things.
and moreover, I could play those games on PC, and I haven't done it. Like I can literally play it probably better looking than on the Xbox One X.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
And I haven't done it.
Well, I was gonna say, like, the thing that will probably, and I told Enrique and B this, like. I want to share what B was saying in the chat just now. He was saying, like, MS needs to step up their first party before he jumps in. And we've talked about that. I kind of felt the same way. I know Anchor said the same thing. And I said, the one thing that will push me is being that, I took part in the GameStop flip a few months ago. And, like, I have the credit. The thing that would make me jump, and this is going to sound crazy, is if GameStop does that same thing they just did with the PS4. I got the Destiny Pro bundle. I had no intentions of buying a Pro. But I couldn't resist the fact that they were giving me $215 for an OG PS4.
Oh no, they got that flip. That flip going down. They saying if you pre-order, you get like 150, 100 something towards the Xbox One X.
I'm gonna tell.
Yeah, I want to see them go to like 2+, and then I might be like, all right.
So we do it that too. Yeah, I got you.
Go to Amazon if you want that deal. Amazon I think they gave me what 2 or 190 for my Xbox One S's. So like the day of when I'm switching it over, I'm gonna put them in the boxes, put the sticker on it, ship them out, and have the credit go to my
I did the same thing when I got my S last holiday. Like they had like a ridiculous deal on my OG Xbox One. I got the S for like $110. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be like the same thing. Like I have no problem switching it out and waiting to see. You know what I'm saying? But it would be that thing that made me move because I have like the GameStop credit. I have that. So
what we gotta do is we're gonna keep our eye out for the flips. I'm you and Brap.
Listen, that's what I was telling Lord Cognito. I was telling him yesterday, because he was like he wanted to buy all the games all at one time. I said, yo, peter it out. Like get the one that you really want to get first. But we all know Target at this time of the year has the buy 2 get 1 free. Always, of all the hottest games every year, and they do it 2 weeks before Black Friday. So I'm like, yo, before that comes out, you can get a couple of those games for free. And if you get the digital codes, because now they're selling, the digital code for the games, and that will equate to the same thing. Just go in there because he wants the whole digital library. Just go in there, pick up, 2 of those cards and get a card for free. And you save so much money this holiday season and all these games that you really wanted by not running out and purchasing them day one, and by waiting till closer to Black Friday.
That's a good point.
You save so much money.
Good point. And the backlog is there, and the fact of the matter is we got Black Friday on deck. So with those games as well, we could be seeing discounts. So again, that's why I'm looking at Wolfie. Is like, I'm gonna wait. If I don't hear anything, I still got enough stuff to play to hold me for about 2 to 3 weeks. Black Friday come, boom. Let's see what's going on. Or when they do those holiday sales that Xbox is known to do, those digital sales, right? Right around, they're gonna have their Black Friday digital lit as well. So for those on the wait and see, totally understand.
Yeah, I have a strike while the iron. I have a strike while the iron is hot, like mentality, because I have a feeling like S values are gonna plummet. I shouldn't say I can't say for sure, but I do wonder because there was a point there like OG Xboxes were like. You walk in the Best Buy, they give you $75 for it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what? I was like, on principle, I reject you. So when that S drop, that OG value went up with Amazon. I was like, all right, let me strike while the iron's hot. So
no doubt.
So we'll
see what happens. It just reminds me, Lord Brap, of a funny meme I saw on Twitter. And it's like, as a GameStop employee, and the guy has his whole arcade collection, everything. And GameStop's like, so that'll be $750. It's like GameStop be like.
I've seen him hit a 12-year-old in the pocket. Kid just try to get a new console, bring in like 90 games and a system. They're like, that'd be $8.
Yo, and the capitalist in me stands right next to him and say, I'll give you $2 more for that. Like $2 more. He's gonna give you $7. I'll give you $9.
Right now.
Give me all that stuff. Yeah, come on, put it in the truck.
Let's finish this thing up. We got you up on deck.
Curse of Osiris, baby. Talk to me.
Yo, all right. So we saw, Bungie's live stream, and I wanted to know because I don't like the rhetoric that's surrounding the game. People are telling me that there's nothing to do, that the game is dead, there's nobody's playing. And this is what happens when you pander to the casual crowd. This is the conversation that you're going to get when the casual crowd is no longer enthused. They're going to move on to so many nice new games that are out right now. All right. And my thing is, will those casuals come back when this DLC drops? Because I'm so hyped from what they showed. From the exotics to the lore to the I want to know more about Osiris. I've never wanted to know more about one character in my whole life. Like I watched the trailer like a million times, looking at the ghosts. I'm like pausing the screen, looking at stuff like, oh, that's that gun, that's a thorn. Like I'm doing it, and I never thought I'd do it. But I wanted to know how many people is excited, or will that crowd come back? Will we get these people back? Will the millions come back once the DLC come out? How many people purchase the game with the DLC and is forced to come back to validate their purchase? I know I'm there.
Let's get a little Brap on this because I'm curious.
Dude, I'm actually hyped for Osiris because, first of all, his gear and everything. Like we talked about this on RGM.
RGM.
Yeah. And by the way, King, I agree with you. This game's not dead. I don't understand when people say it. Like you said, it's probably casuals more than anyone else. But yeah, I'm just when I saw the trailer, and what I liked about Osiris is that like we don't know too much about him. We know a little bit about him, who he is. But he was like his outfit and everything.
Crazy.
It fed into that need that you have in Destiny to get new items. And it made me think, I need that. I'm gonna go out and buy this DLC. And that's part of the lore of Destiny. But I'm excited for it. I liked his ghost too. His ghost looks so much different from like the regular ghost. Looks like it was kind of like almost in some ways maybe piecemeal together a little bit. But I like how he has that like Native American like vibe to him. Yeah, he's kind of like I got a little bit of like he's got a little hood, like kind of like Assassin's Creed. He looks badass. He looks badass. So yeah, so I'm excited. I can't wait for it. I'm excited. But that's Destiny. You know, it's funny. Like when people say like, "Oh, you know, Destiny, there's nothing going on," but you notice that because that was the same thing I heard last for Destiny 1. You notice when the DLC comes out, everyone comes back to it.
That's a good point.
Everyone comes back to it.
Now, if anybody could get a shout out for their marketing team, it's Bungie. Like they know how to market stuff in Activision. Like they got that down. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, you know, Brap, I killed my character. I had an extra warlock, right? And I killed it. And I said, me and Brap is gonna. I had dreams of me and Brap running through the IO, running through Titan together, building our characters. And I stood there waiting. I'm like, Brap.
Wolfenstein got him.
Yo, listen, my character is 305 right now. Like, Brap who?
Well, you know, I finally pulled the trigger, got the Xbox One version, right?
Right.
And got on that, got Attic helped me out, got me leveled up, and then Wolfie came out. That was it. It was all right.
You filthy casual. You filthy casual.
But I'm just excited because we've heard this name Osiris for such a long time now.
Yeah.
You know, we finally get to meet the man, I guess, if you will.
No doubt. Let's get Lord Eric and Lord Attic.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, I don't think the game is dead at all. And, you know, yeah, Wolfenstein's kind of taking me away from it. But, I mean, I'm still trying to get my character to 300, like, no doubt. So I'm still putting in the work. I might need some help being carried over, you know, the goal line. So
listen, man, we got them carries. We got Lord Attic on deck, man. That's the man. With that. So we got King and his crew coming through, all the affiliates. We got you.
Oh, no, we're not affiliate no more. We are Channel 5. I brought my whole team, my whole squad. I took my squad away from that clan that will not be named. They are shunned for talking that hot stuff.
Shout out to the clan that won't be named. Shout out.
And watch how I bring the ringer over, Zo. I'm bringing Sinister back to the fold.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. We need them trials. We need them trials on engrams. We like trials engrams for the clan.
We love it.
No, but I said when it came, I've said this before. When it came to Destiny 1, like I was like kind of late, and I kept getting left out of the reindeer games.
Yeah.
So I said that's not happening on Destiny 2. But no, it's not dead for me because I still get in there every week. You know, try to do my weeklies.
Okay.
And like be ready for everything. You know, I'm just trying to be ready for everything to roll. I will not be left behind. I'm not going to be like, wait for me, guys. No, that's not happening. But no, it's not dead for me at all, man. That game's still lit for me.
Dude, Crucible. I mean, let's face it, Crucible. I mean, the gameplay mechanics, the guns, everything. I mean, this is Bungie. Crucible is just the closest thing I think to perfection in an online multiplayer shooter.
Yes.
Like that 4v4, that tactical team shooting.
Yes, I was in trials for the first time this weekend, and I got the fever for the trials. Like I got the fever when I was like, okay, we got 3 wins, and then we got that loss. I was like, what did we do? He said, hit the strike button to take it away. I said, we got a strike button, and we took it away. And I
said, to be money.
Let it keep rolling, baby.
He said he gets busy. Lord Addict, now that you've seen the God, Osiris, how do you feel about this DLC?
The DLC is gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun to actually play Destiny 2 again. So
Yeah, man, I miss playing with you guys. I really do.
I haven't played Destiny in like 3 weeks. It feels like that's just nothing for me to do on there.
Facts. I mean, I think what it is too, and what I like what the live team now is jumping in, is that we've already got confirmation from Bungie at this week at Bungie that all the stuff that the community complained about with the end game, they came out with a bullet list of points, basically addressing it, saying that those would go live before the DLC. So I thought that was a positive sign for the hardcore guys that have ended it, because for the most part, BRAP, Lord Eric, like we've got everything we want. We just want a little bit better rewards for that prestige.
I mean, how many more times do I do the sins of the rocket launcher or
exactly,
or how many times do I need to run the crucible for the same 5 drops, or how many times do I need to run the strikes for no exclusive gear? Or
what's your incentive?
What's the incentive for the people?
There's literally none.
Exactly. So it's so refreshing to see. Shout out to Christopher Barrett. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DJ and these guys. They put out the statement. They listed an extensive bullet point list of pretty much, it was like everything we bitched about list.
Honestly,
Thank you.
We heard you.
I don't see a problem in it. I don't. Like, I actually enjoy playing other games. Like, I don't see a problem.
It's weird for me though, Addict. It's weird. It's like I'm so used to Destiny taking over my life that it's weird to be like, okay, I could cheat on you and talk to other people. Like,
you know what? Not to cut you off, I think what that speaks to though is the strength of Destiny's community, and because the incentive that you guys took on was helping other people get across the goal line.
Yeah.
Yes.
See,
that's the community.
Those days are over for me. So
you told me that like a couple weeks ago. You're like, yeah, you got it kind of late, man. People are kind of like, eh. How many more times can you run that?
I'm not about that charity anymore.
Like if you look at my bono, if you look at my timeline, it's like they call me on. Like I get a message on Nightfall. I got my boy. He's coming through. I got you. Let's run it. We done got stuff down to such a science that it doesn't bother me to take 20 minutes out. Let's run him through this. Let's get him that Rat King that he don't got. It's just little things that I take a pure joy out of it because the camaraderie of it is so strong.
The thing that I have the most fun with it is like me, Lord Addict, Lord King, Lord Sinister, and it's like when you run a person who hasn't completed the raid for the first time.
That would be me. I haven't done the raid yet.
BRAP, we got to get you going, man.
I haven't done it either.
You know what I'm saying? And Lord Sovereign, Mr. Offline Profile, we got to get you going. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a certain joy, because it's like Lord King said, it's a brotherhood. And it's like, we're just sitting there and we watch Lord Addict do them dogs and we smile. I'm like, I'm going to get some free stuff out of the end of this.
He is, to this day, I do the raid at least 3 to 4 times a week, consistently, if not more. He is to this day the finest dog runner I've ever seen.
Give it up to Lord Addict on that. Nobody runs better than Lord Addict. It's a fact. I'll put my boy up against any of y'all YouTube streamers in the Destiny. Whoever want that
smoke. They don't want that smoke.
You don't want that smoke.
They don't want that smoke.
Yo, say, what's the words? Go to Buddha. Go to always. Whatever y'all code words are for the pleasure god. I just laugh.
He don't stop running. He runs it like this. It's hard to explain it. Other people are so scared and so ginger with it. He runs it straight through it. Let's go. Let's go.
And basically, real quick, Lord Eric, Lord BRAP, for the listeners that don't know what the hell we're talking about, it's a stealth portion of the raid. It's the first time in the raid that they have a stealth mechanic where you can't be spotted by these beasts, or the encounter ends.
That's hot.
And it's 6 of us. 4 of us on the ground. We're in this forest trying to be stealthy. You have 2 people up top trying to.
The forest is foggy.
You got 2 people at the top trying to help you out as much as you can, but you need 1 person to carry this ball that's actually going to give you these spores to help you through the encounter, and that's Lord Addict's job. And that was, to be honest, when the raid came out,
The hardest.
That was where people were getting stuck. The people were trying to get the world's first one. They couldn't get past the pleasure gardens. So it's like to see my boy out there, and he like I can't run it with anyone else because they're not as good as him.
I'm spoiled. I get upset that they're not moving fast enough, and I'm yelling at them like, "Yo, let's just go, just go."
I'm like, "Yo, if Attic ain't running it, I've
had people bitch at me say I'm running too fast. I need to slow down.
Yeah.
Yep. Facts. I'll be like, yo, whatever you do, stay in his pocket. We're gonna wrap this up soon.
And what's funny is you could never blame me because I'm always like, look, if you stayed with me, you didn't get caught. Whoever got caught wasn't with me. Just blame
stay in his pocket.
Stay in his hip pocket.
Stay in his pocket. Lord Saul, real quick before we wrap this up, what was your feeling of the Curse of Osiris DLC? Did you get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, I definitely checked it out. Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I've fallen off, and that's partially due to Mario and partially not being able to set aside the time that I know I'm going to need for the raid. Like, set aside the time to do it, and then be able to. I know I can break it up during the course of the week, but then I don't want to not be able to finish certain parts of it, and then get to the reset and lose all that progress. I'm like, I just haven't been able to set aside the time, but that's what I have left to do is to get that. I still haven't gotten a Rat King, so I need to do a Nightfall. And
we got to get him that King
in the 5 minutes.
Listen, he knows right now. As soon as we get off of this podcast, I'm jumping on the whatchamacallit, and you know it's time to go skip door.
And the problem is that I have wifey staring at me like,
I feel
like, you gonna run away?
You gonna do what? This week, since I'm off this week, once I get my initial touch with the X on, we will be doing that this week. So
no doubt.
Oh, and the enhancements is in Destiny. They just can't say it. I'm going to be tearing it up.
I'm hearing that their enhancements are natural. There's no slowdown in public events and those raid parts. And that's not even an official patch that they worked on yet. So imagine when they do actually make it Xbox One enhanced, what the potential could be, which should be interesting. But we're going to wrap this thing up. Great show. Shout out to Lord BRAP and Lord EJ in the building.
Yo, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, man. We're gonna wrap this thing up. We got one last poll. We're gonna wrap it up. Lord Addict kind of stole the thunder from me, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. So it's gonna be with the Xbox One X launch just days away. All you day one adopters, what is the first type of title you will launch on your shiny new X? Will it be A, an older, now patched Xbox One X enhanced title, similar to like a Gears, a Halo 5, Rise of the Tomb Raider? Would it be B, a brand new third-party game that's patched, similar to Assassin's Creed, Wolfenstein 2? Or C, forget the games, 4K Blu-ray, Netflix, HDR. Got to give it out to the media people, to the Don Matrix. They might want to do that.
You guys need to throw Planet Earth 2 on there.
Planet Earth, exactly. They Planet Earth for, you know. Or they want to watch Stranger Things.
Oh, I got to talk to you about that.
No doubt. That's the question. Those are the choices. Please rock the vote. Hit the ILP Twitter polls when it goes up. So let's do these outros. Lord BRAP, once again, an absolute pleasure always to have one of my good fellas in the building.
Nah, man, thank you. The pleasure's all mine. I'm a big fan of the podcast. Love what you guys do. So keep doing your thing.
Thank you so much. Where can the fine people find you? And tell us about that BRAP podcast.
Yeah, so BRAP Basement Radio Arcade podcast. You go live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check us out. We actually, in anticipation of the release of the Xbox One X, we actually gave away a free Xbox One copy of Assassin's Creed this past Wednesday to a lucky listener. Yep. Drop that. And then for the holidays, we'll have some more details coming up soon, but we're going to be giving away a PlayStation 4 console.
Wow.
Yeah, for holidays for one of our listeners. So keep an eye out for that. If you want to get some more information about BRAP, definitely give us a follow. You can follow me on Twitter at BRAP, BRAP _podcast on Twitter. And yeah, definitely, definitely check us out. To me, Eric Jackson, B Money, we just like talking about video games and having fun. So.
Salute to B Money in the chat as well. Yeah, make sure you guys support these guys. Real Gaming Talks, always a pleasure. Also, catch that last episode. They had MPD's Matt Piscatella. If you want to learn, once you get your education on and learn how the industry works, you pay attention. and you listen to that. That was a great segment. Good discussions, no doubt. Lord Eric, a pleasure, my man, making his debut. Wanting you for a long time.
Yo, this has been an absolute honor, a blast. Thanks, you guys for having me. I'm always willing to come through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, you guys are doing it big, man. This is what's up. This is what the gaming community is about. You can have preferences, but you can also be cordial, be cool, just have discussions. You don't have to get heated, get it twisted. A lot of times you guys, you get me through the gym. I'm sitting over there like laughing, and I know people think I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care now. But no, I'll rock with you guys no matter what. So definitely appreciate it.
Much appreciated. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me Wednesday nights on BRAP Podcast. You can find me running around Twitter, trying to be something of a voice of reason, but every now and again, people don't want to hear reason. But yeah, you can find me Twitter, ECJAXSON, EC Jackson. And also be sure to check out RGM, RealGameMedia.com, for game reviews, news, impressions.
The lady,
absolutely, Miss Bella Rise. And also RGM Podcast, bi-weekly on YouTube. So yeah, check us out.
Shout out to Sam Tobit in the chat. We saw you, baby. Salute to him. I like what you're doing. Great work, man. All the time. Great articles. Good stuff this guy's doing too. Absolutely. Absolute pleasure. And of course, my brother from another mother, Lord Addict. What's going on? Where can we find you? It's popping.
Nothing much. I haven't really been posting anything on my YouTube channel. I've just been pretty much just chilling. But, just follow me on Twitter, Iron Lord, Lord Addict ILP. You can follow me on all the gaming outlets. It's Room to Kill, but Steam's Gaming Addict. And thanks everyone for coming out.
No doubt, no doubt. Lord Sovereign, the Switch online profile was lit this week. Where can people find you?
Yeah, well, you're not getting my social security for the Switch, so that's that. Sorry about that, guys. But on PSN and Xbox Live, they can find me BX Sovereign, and on Twitter, Lord Sov ILP. And big shout out and thanks to Lord EJ and Lord BRAP. You guys are extended ILP family, so when you guys come, it's really not even guests, man. It's like just
it's like when they in the building, it's like
family banter.
I appreciate that. We appreciate
Thanks for coming through, guys.
No doubt.
Lord King.
Yo, shout out to Brad. I was looking forward to today, to be honest with you. Oh, shout out to EJ, man. Like, it's always beautiful when you're on. I got this thing that I'm trying to work on. Kings of New York, all the podcasters that's in the local area. I want to do a visual type of thing where we rent out a restaurant, set up the cameras, and we sit down. We have a nice meal.
You do a mob style?
Yeah, we could do a mob style, and we got a round table talking about games and stuff like that. And I got the actual venue and stuff like that. So I'm trying to work it up, chop it up, and see how much they're gonna charge us for the the space rented and the food and stuff like that. But I want that done, and I want to try to get that as like a thing to go viral for everybody to see, like Tim Dog, BRAP, the Iron Lords, together as one podcast community, opposed to this separate podcast sniping at each other stuff that coincide that I don't like. And I think it'll be huge, to be honest with you, because the chemistry that we all have is beautiful. So you can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The vision is always there pushing, and I'm so appreciative that you guys came through. And no matter what anybody thinks, my love for Attic is immense. So
absolutely,
if we joke around, we play around, and I get under his skin, he does it to me sometimes. So listen, don't think that I don't have love for the kid, because I have love for the kid all day, and he knows it.
Amen. And that's part of the culture. That's a lot of people that don't know us. They're like, oh man, like, is they not going to be on the show next Channel 5.
They clearly don't be in too many raids.
Yeah, like, we go at each other, we get each other, curse each other, and then like an hour later we're laughing. Like, it's just the competitive nature and us putting it on.
You would legitimately think me and Sinister like hate each other.
Yeah, and it's not.
If you don't know us, that's just where we're cut from. We go at each other, and it just still sharp and still, and that's what we do. Absolutely. So again, Lord Cognito here, the gaming realness was spread. Very appreciative of our guests. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe to the ILP on all the Inner Circle network media outlets. We got that YouTube, the iTunes, SoundCloud, all that stuff will be going up. Still got that amazing TickGN Patreon. The links are in the description. All the support helps us. We got some real cool things cooking up. Make sure you support us. And like I said, on that note, we are out. We got some football to get to, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Man, I ain't watching the Dolphins today, man.
Listen, everybody think I'm protesting because of cabinet. I'm protesting because my team sucks. So.
See, I got to say too, if they got Jimmy Garoppolo on my team, I'm gonna see them play.
I hear that. Yo, listen, they think I'm taking a political stance. Oh my God, you're so righteous with it, King. Yeah.
No doubt. We're gonna end this show, y'all. And on that note, we out. Peace.